welcome to the Imperial Numismatics Presents the Boardcast.
Love that. You redeemed yourself from episode 10's intro.
A lot of pressure.
Is it going to be as manic as 10's episode?
I hope so. Because I actually like that episode a lot.
Yeah. We got very what episode number are we today?
Yes.
5?
We just get Johnny Coins back on for every 10
25.
episodes.
Maybe. We save it for a milestone
Maybe
episode.
when we get to 100 episodes, it'll be the big 100 and we just replace William with John.
We mentioned John a lot on the podcast. It's partially just the Imperial Numismatics podcast.
I also like, as we were leading into this podcast, John's like, who's interesting? I just forced John to do it. He comes at a time where he's not normally here, he's not getting paid, and he's forced to do the hard work.
You guys get paid?
He's a good friend.
Yeah.
How do you like the Imperial Numismatic shout-outs of the episodes?
I think it's good.
Yeah.
I mean, it is I guess, it's not a coin podcast.
It is.
It is, I guess,
Yeah.
maybe.
We mentioned coins twice.
Yeah.
Twice, yeah.
Yeah.
Last week's podcast had a bank in it.
Very nice. Yes, true. And John was featured as a character.
We are trying to collect coins so we can pay for our bills.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
I can pay to feed my children. Kane can pay to get robotic feet because he's going to need them.
Yeah, my feet hurts.
My feet
Well, so
hurt.
John's here because we don't have William again. So William has guests of some kind. He had a big regional tournament I heard. So
One Piece.
yeah, One Piece.
How'd he go?
I'm not sure how he went, but his team won.
Did William play?
Damn, that's cool.
Or did he just go just
He was there as like
spectator?
a booth guy.
Okay.
He was there wheeling and dealing.
Because if you
Doing
look
the
at the
William
photo
okay.
of the people that won, it's majority of his players.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
It's from between his two team camps, it's like majority of his guys.
We had one guy.
The amount
We had Reese
Yeah.
from Team PCG. you
Reese
know.
did exceptionally well.
Yeah, he got sixth place.
Sixth
Out of
16.
100, out of 200 something people, he got sixth.
That's impressive.
Very good.
How many, over 2 days or 1 day? Or
1 day. Oh no, 2 days. 2 days.
2 days.
Once you get to like top 16, you go for another day.
That's crazy.
Yeah,
Like,
it
it's
is.
a
It is
lot.
crazy.
It's a lot of games.
Really proud of him as well.
It's about
So-
250 signups in that area, and for him to come like 6, and then you look at the photo of like all of these. Almost every guy is in Eternal Magic crew.
Eternal Magic did very well.
You may as well just call it the Eternal Magic One Piece
The
tournament.
true winner is Eternal Magic.
William's gonna be quite proud of himself.
Yeah.
Well, I'm quite proud of like Team PCG though, because it's like all our local players, and they feature the Northern Boards like logo as well. They're basically like semi-sponsored by us at this point.
I heard this Friday's gonna be a bit of a party apparently. Right?
Correct. They're all coming down as a big like post-tournament party. Really excited for that one. It's gonna be fun.
sick.
But yeah, I'm really because they're all.
Maybe I'll come down and get on the beers.
Yeah, absolutely. Come
I
down
can
and enjoy
I can
yourself.
flaunt
I'm
how
gonna.
my lack of gout towards gout.
It's my excuse to put the music up.
Gout superiority over here. Yeah.
All right. Well, the elephant in the room. My foot hurts. All right. So
Would you
here's-
call it an elephant foot?
I'm pretty sure that's the name of this specific episode, right?
Yeah,
My
this,
foot
this
hurts.
episode is going to be My Foot Hurts featuring John. So,
Keep it in.
yeah. I woke up this morning, and I woke up this morning in like quite a bit of pain on my foot. I thought I had like tore a ligament. I was like, what is going on?
Just rapid.
I don't know, dude. I was
rapid
like,
feet movement while you're sleeping.
I was like in the middle of my sleep. I'm trying to pull off a kickflip and I'm just like tear a ligament in my foot. I was like, what is going on? Do some research. Turns out it might be gout. If you don't know what gout is, so basically it's like oils that build up in your body and then crystalline in your joints. Very cool.
It's your body saying, eat a better diet, you fuckhead.
Yeah, I mean, I eat a good diet, but the problem is it's too good. So because gout,
too good.
it's too good.
I don't like to brag, but I eat too well.
Yeah. Excuse me. It's called. What'd you call it again? The rich man's.
Yes,
problem?
the rich man's disease.
Yeah.
man's disease,
I'm not even rich. I just eat unhealthy. I guess.
I eat rich.
In like the Middle Ages, when people had no food, the only people who get gout are like people that could like eat a pig and shit.
Yeah.
And it's like,
You're like, my foot hurts. It's a good thing.
yeah.
Yeah.
Also, like traditionally, they'd eat less vegetables as well. So you're not eating enough vegetables
I eat plenty of veggies. I just think for the last few weeks, I've just been eating a little too much protein.
because
in my diet.
good antioxidants does a long way to like reducing that as well.
There you go.
So like, get some blueberries in you.
My-
I'll blame myself because I took away the freezer that you had your blueberries in.
Yeah.
So
No,
I feel
blueberries are
partially
okay.
responsible.
Well, my dad's had gout before in the past, and I was like, "Whoa, that doesn't look great." And now that I've had it, I'm like, "Yeah, no, it's not great."
Yeah.
it's like someone stuck a pin, like in a very specific point of your foot.
Yeah, it's exceptionally painful. Like I mentioned before, I was like if I eat red meat 2 or 3 days in a row, I'll get gout.
Yeah, because if
So
you
I think
have it, you just have it lifelong, right?
only
It comes in bouts.
Red meat.
It's
Is this the main trigger or?
red meat's generally the main thing. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I did some research. It's caused by like red meats, organs, fatty foods, sugar, shellfish.
Anything with a high mineralization
anything that tastes
mineralization
good.
content.
Is what you're
Pretty
saying.
much
Yeah,
anything that's
effectively,
good for you sucks to be you, dude.
Yeah.
Well,
yeah.
I wouldn't say most of those things are good for you. They just taste good.
Taste great.
Tasting good and being
Tasting
good,
good
very
must
different.
mean it's good for you.
Yeah, that's how it works.
Like if you just ate like bananas and I don't know fruit and vegetables, no gout for you, buddy.
Yeah, but then you also become Donkey Kong. So you just have other problems.
There was a dude who, what was it? He drank or ate carrots or something. He goes, there was a guy who like drank silver compound and he became white. He went purple and his hair was
John's
white.
onto something. So there's
Is that
like
the
a-
ultimate racist?
I was like,
he becomes he's becoming the Silver Surfer.
It's a silver surfer. I think it was a colloidal silver.
Clodo Silver.
Yeah, and he drank it like every day. He literally went purple.
I was reading about this not too long ago.
Yeah,
It's
like
like what do they call it again? Like a holistic medicine thing,
Yeah,
like
yeah.
those like not proven by science, but
Oh, it was fucking Nem. Nem was like, come up. He was like, have you seen about this thing, colloidal silver? Make you like heaps better. And I fucking researched for like 5 minutes. I was like,
yeah,
that's
it's
I-
supposed
I
you're
don't think
drinking
so. I don't
liquid
think so.
silver or some kind, but because silver has like specific properties to it, but if you put it in your body, they're like, oh, it's hell good for you though. And
Silver's,
that person ate too much of it and then just became Silver Surfer.
I mean, silver's toxic, so I wouldn't.
it's a metal.
Yeah.
I don't
Most
drink
metals are
metal.
toxic, so but it just won't be absorbed by your body, I guess.
Yeah.
So that's why you put silver in like bandages. They've got like silver. You get
It's a
antibacterial.
natural antibacterial, right?
Yeah.
In ancient China, we used to use the royalty used to use silver, like proper silverware, because if it would react to the poison, you'll know if your food was poisoned. So that was the sosei.
Where's my silver chopsticks?
Silver's up and up in the prices now, right?
Let's go
to the moon.
to diamond hands.
As everything's crazy inflation, people are putting their money in like gold and silver now.
Yeah, Goldman Sachs just put a bunch of money into gold right now.
Because what was it? Even Walmart in America now is like you can buy gold over the counter.
You can buy it at Costco in Perth.
Oh man.
Yeah, you can go down there.
But
and buy yourself some
I
gold.
get it, right? Because what is it? A bar of gold in like ye oldie days would buy your house, and a bar of gold nowadays would still buy your house.
Yeah, they're not
It's still
have
the same.
Have you
gold
seen like
bar.
the current like? I assume you obviously have, John, but like the bars of gold now, they're not very impressive looking. They're like
1 ounce?
little like stubby.
So yeah, I mean, because gold's 3,700 an ounce. So and the ounce is troy ounce. Okay, well it is becoming the coin.
Wait, this is John's specialty. He's
Let me just clear my throat. But
let him
yeah,
take the
so,
stage.
but yeah, it's a troy ounce, not normal ounce.
Oh.
So normal ounce is 28 grams. Troy ounce is 31.
Why is that?
What does that mean?
It's just a different unit of measurement.
Okay,
so
cool.
Yeah,
Just the British come
it's
to
just a
fuck us all over again.
historical
being annoying, right?
hang up. But yeah, because I've had this discussion with people coming in. They've weighed up their stuff and they said they've got X ounces.
Johnny Coins,
But
my
yeah.
bar of gold weighs 3 stone, 4 fish, and 1/2 leg of a monkey.
And if you eat
Yes, that-
this silver bar, you won't have gout anymore.
Correct. But yeah, so like 1 ounce of gold is $3,700, and an ounce is 30 grams. So if you had like those big, what was it? We Were Kings or Three Kings. What was that movie when they go to the desert and Gulf War and they get all the bricks of gold?
Yeah.
Bullions.
The bullion, like the big bullion, like those bricks.
The, ones
are
you-
just
the
insane.
trapezoid one that you
In
can't
my
fit
brain,
on your
it's
head.
like gold is ingots.
Yeah.
It's like those big blocks. But also those big blocks of gold like $1 bajillion.
Yeah, I mean a kilo of gold's 100,000 plus.
There was some guy who just in Queensland dug up like a $80,000 nugget. Yeah.
Crazy.
Not a bad.
Not a bad day out.
He's like, I do this full time, but he didn't look like a guy who lived a wealthy life full time. So
That's like ancient gold prospect. It was like, I'm gonna hide me treasure here, and then just and then dies, and never tell the place of the treasure.
Yeah.
So,
But yeah, you got those stories of the guys going out like early days and finding just gold everywhere.
dude,
In
early
WA.
gold rush Australia, where people were coming in, panning like
crazy.
the rivers looking for gold.
it would have been a lot easier when you could just dig it like just on top of the ground.
That's what it was, yeah.
Yeah.
Just go down and find
People
it.
still do that to this day. They go out in places and they like pan the rivers for gold, and they're like, I made $100 today, and I'm like, if you had a job, you would make more than $100 today.
That's the man telling you that, Kang. I live off
He's
grid.
off the grid. He's
Yeah, yeah.
selling gold. So
Yeah.
Every time I see somebody like with a special $2 coin, my urge to send it to John and be like, how much can you get me for this?
I know my worth.
Yeah, I know what I've got.
Like one of those ones with the like Olympic rings with a color on it. I'm
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
I bet this is worth $3.
It's worth $2.
It's worth less than the $2.
Yeah.
You get a finder's fee, which takes so he gives you like $1.50 back.
John's like, I'll take it, but you have to pay tax.
I'll charge you GST. Yeah. But yeah, it's a whole thing. The $2 collecting market for anyone it checks their change and sees it, and it had a huge boom and bust. So like COVID time was like the peak. Of it.
Because people had fucking time on their
Well,
hands.
people like looking it up and researching, and there was
You're
a
at
couple.
home. What else are you gonna do? Look up coin videos and buy coins.
Pretty much, right? Like they
That's
had
actually
nothing else to
personally
do.
why I want this monkeypox to hurry up and get here. To
It is
Perth.
here.
So that
Wait,
yeah,
there's
so-
monkeypox?
There's cases in Perth.
Wait, what?
I'm ready for COVID number 2.
I'm out of the loop. I haven't been on the news because my foot
Maybe you
hurts.
got monkeypox. Okay.
Yeah. Ooh.
Wait, what is?
Maybe you
wait,
could rub your feet on me, Kang.
What's the
I want to get the
symptoms?
pox.
What's
Not
the
the pox.
monkeypox? What's going on?
It's like because
I'm Patrick Star. I'm under the rock right now. I don't know what's going
okay.
on.
I
So
don't know
like
what that means. Who's Patrick Star?
From SpongeBob.
SpongeBob.
He lives on a rock.
SpongeBob.
yeah,
Fuck
lives
yeah.
in a pineapple. He lives on.
Come on, get with the times.
Jeez, Danny. Even I got that one.
Yeah.
But yeah, so like monkeypox is like a pox, right? Like chicken pox.
Yeah.
All the different types of these, types of diseases. But yeah, monkeypox came out of Africa.
Yeah.
I guess, and it was spread through.
Pakistan.
Yeah,
And then out of
through the-
Pakistan to
But what
the
happens
rest of the
is
world.
just like it's just
Well, it's like a chicken pox, which actually can be quite dangerous.
Yeah.
Actually, and there's no cure at the moment for it.
it's like measles all over again.
Yeah, if you are, I guess.
Wait, why do you
immunized-
want it then?
It doesn't want to work.
No, I want other people to get
Surely.
it so that COVID was. Look, there's controversial take here, but COVID was a fantastic time for me. I earned 3 times the amount of money, and I did
Yeah,
30% more work.
Yeah, but not me. Northern Boards would be
Yeah,
like,
Northern Bob's a shot.
be
I
like,
managed
what
to keep
happened?
this entire fucking thing going with one guy. So I had a great time. You know, at some point I was able to drive from Wangara to Mandurah in 45 minutes because there was
Whoa,
nobody
no
on the fucking
traffic.
road.
When I used to go into the city for work, it was such a culture shock, or such a shock to my system when the traffic returned. I was like, this used to take 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Like, why is it 20,
What's going on?
Why is it 25? Where did all these cars come from? What's going on? Yeah. Get off my roads.
Yeah, I was like, so look, I understand that for the rest of the world, COVID was not great, but you know what? We have to deal with it anyway. So bring on the monkeypox.
Yeah,
And pox.
we're pretty glad that WA kind of just like barely felt COVID. So
Yeah,
wait,
yeah.
you guys ever had chickenpox?
Yeah.
I've had chickenpox 2 times.
Really?
Which you're not
I've
supposed
never
to-
had
meant to have
chickenpox.
it
As
once.
Wimes' Tale says you're only supposed to have it once.
Did you have your vaccine for chickenpox?
Don't know.
So yeah,
They
there's
they
the
definitely
vaccine.
jabbed me with a bunch of stuff when I came to Australia though.
Most kids have it, yeah.
Yeah, because I got it old fashioned way. Like
Where they force you to get it.
yeah, I was like this one's sick. Yeah, well, yeah. Just go play with that.
So
Person.
what happens when you have chickenpox?
It depends how
You
old
get
you
all
are.
spotty, right?
Yeah,
Depends how
yeah.
old you are.
You get like it's essentially like pussy welts.
Ew.
But if you get too many of them, it can like infect the bloodstream, which makes you incredibly sick. So if you're an adult and you get it, it's called shingles, and shingles has a high chance of killing you.
It's pretty
Oh,
bad.
cool.
Yeah.
So like if you're a kid, it's kind of you just get like little red bumps and it's like you're itchy and you get like if you scratch them you get scars and stuff. But
Yeah,
it's-
I've got a few up one side of my head here.
yeah. So you see people with scars on their faces and stuff. It's either acne or it's like from a pox, right? From like
It's like COVID where like the kids weren't dying. from it.
I've never even thought about it that way. I've got pox scars, like I'm
Yeah,
out of
you're
like
old
the
school.
13th century.
yeah. If you see like the old photos of people with smallpox scars, it's pretty.
survivor.
Careful on Twitter, you can put that as your like
I was
profile thing.
gonna say,
Right?
put it as your, in your email signature.
You know, like
Survivor.
World of Warcraft, how you get a title. You're like, I am Danny the Conqueror.
Lord of the Pox.
I wonder if that means when I do finally get the monkeypox, it'll listen to me rather than it.
Guaranteed.
Yeah.
But yeah,
I'll tell you who's getting welty.
you don't have monkeypox, gang. Don't look. You're okay.
I don't
bro.
want to look at
Well, I don't know.
pictures.
We didn't see the skin of his foot. We only saw socked foot. They could be all welty and gross down there.
Or maybe I'm just slowly turning them over.
Just one big pox.
Have you seen pictures of like when kids had like measles and
Yeah.
all that crazy stuff? Bro, it was gnarly.
it's not
modern
good.
medicine. Thank you for
Yeah.
sanitation went a long way as well.
You can be like pro-vaccine or anti-vaccine or whatever is on your agenda, but the fact that like leprosy is not there, pretty good.
Boy, you know what I'm super keen on?
Smallpox
Australia doesn't have at least I don't believe Australia has rabies.
doesn't have rabies.
Yeah,
the rabies here.
Because have you read rabies? Rabies
Yeah.
is terrifying.
You die.
Yeah, the rabies has like a 99% lethality rate.
Really?
Yeah, you die if you
Is
get
it still from
rabies.
getting bitten by like a possum or some shit?
It could be anything.
Anything
Anything that
that's
has
infected
rabies.
by rabies, and you.
like-
I think it's a
Oh,
window
so that
you can
thing also
try
has
and-
to have rabies.
Yeah, so if you get that in the US, that's why like dog attacks and because we look it up because obviously cats, right? So because we're big cat people, so we looked up and a lot of the websites are geared to the US, and the approach to looking out for cats, stray cats, is totally different there because they can have rabies.
Ah.
And same with animals in general, so you have to be very careful not to get bitten by cats and stuff.
Yeah,
wild
no
cats.
shit.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Bats
'cause-
can have rabies.
yeah, and you will die basically.
Yeah.
not guaranteed, but it's,
It's
like
the
very
immediate
high
moment you
percentage.
have symptoms show up of rabies.
That's it.
It's a death sentence.
Yeah.
It has a 99% lethality rate.
Is it like the cartoon version where you get frothy and
Correct.
shake
Yes.
around?
Correct.
Yes.
The fear of water. You're incapable of drinking water. Like your mouth gets frothy. It hits.
Fear of water. I know a few guys that only drink Pepsi Max. They have a fear of water.
It hits like your brain and nervous system, and like I think like in the entire history of human recording, we've only had like 7 people ever survive rabies,
Really?
and they've been permanently changed.
Like that's what the real superhero is. They don't get like
much.
cool Spider-Man
it's like the
abilities. They
zombie.
just get-
It's like the zombie movies where you have the one person that's immune to the zombie virus.
Yeah.
True.
But yeah, it's a thing. So fortunately, we don't have it here.
You know, Australia being an island, it's good. So
That's how whoever they are attacks us. They just catapult like rabid animals into our.
ooh, yeah.
Well, that's okay.
We send them the
We're going down this path now. That's how the black was one of the theories how the Black Death got to Europe.
Oh, really?
Was that the Huns when they were attacking Huns or the Mongols? Anyway, they were attacking
about the same at that point.
in a siege, and I think it was Vienna. I can't remember. It could have been another city, but anyway, they were throwing plague corpses into the city, which were infected with the plague, and that spread the Black Death through Europe.
Do you reckon? Then how about the Huns? Then how did the Huns not also have it ravage their people?
They did.
They were just like, sucks to you guys because we also have it.
Yeah, because they had plague in Roman times as well.
Correct.
So it was something which people knew.
Biological warfare was real. They would
that
they would
was
throw
what they
like dead cows and animals, livestock over the walls.
So that's how the Black Death spread and killed enough people that
20 million?
Yeah,
2 million?
like a big percentage of the population died.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Like humans, there wasn't that many. There was a lot of humans, but there wasn't like that many. So a big chunk of it went out.
I don't know. I've zero fact checks here, but that's whatever. Now I'm going to say
is the broadcast.
It is the broadcast. So they reckon that when is it Attila the Hun? Is that the guy?
Yeah.
And when he went through and when the smallpox happened, it was enough to cause like a mini ice age because they killed so many people that it dramatically changed the amount of like
Genghis
CO2.
Khan, right?
Genghis Khan.
Genghis Khan.
Yeah, that's it.
So there was enough.
Wait, who's Attila the Hun then?
He's the guy before or after.
After, but
He hit both bases. He's good.
I was like after. He killed enough people so that you could see in the record the number of trees. So everything, all the farmland and everything was reclaimed by nature. So that all the trees and everything grew back.
There's carbon dating. There's a line in the carbon dating where you can see where Genghis Khan was.
Yeah, no shit.
Apparently, it's like you can see it in like the Grand Canyon in the sediment.
Yeah,
In the Grand Canyon?
Yeah,
What?
it was a global event.
global.
Dude,
Yeah,
Genghis Khan killed so much. It was a global thing.
he was like Warhammer 40k levels, right? Like he went through.
That's
and
what
just
I
killed
strive to.
everyone. One day, Kane.
One day.
You'll be a Hun.
Yeah, but you're like 33. I think you got to have to escalate quickly because
I also got to beat this gout first. Can't be conquering Rome with gout.
Yeah. But like, there's also the theory of like however much percentage of the population is descended from him.
Oh yeah,
he had
it's like
so
1/3
many-
of his DNA somewhere.
Like he's basically anyone is from like Eastern Europe or parts of Europe or Asia, Central Asia is basically a descendant of his.
Yeah.
of the three of us, who's more likely to be descendant from him?
That probably the Asian guy.
Whoa.
Yeah. Wait, it's statistically 1 in 3, right? And there's
probably
3 guys
likely.
here.
Yeah.
So just don't look up how he got there.
Makes sense.
Yeah. Why his DNA's everywhere?
Yeah.
Oops.
Yeah, it happens, man. It happens.
Yeah. War not great. War, monkeypox,
Oh, it's in your
gout,
blood.
not
Maybe
great.
you can do. Maybe you can achieve, Kang.
You know what? Yeah, I want to strive to.
But
I want to make my ancestors proud. One ancestor proud.
One answer's proud.
Well, one of the other things they said was that he killed anybody that was taller than him, and that's why you see less tall Asian people.
I appreciate that. As a man of shorter stature, I appreciate that. Tired of you tall people.
So you're happy to also go around and just like mass murder like anybody that's slightly taller than you?
Perhaps, right? Perhaps. If there's
Why
no
did all the
consequences,
tall
maybe.
people just gang up and they're taller than
Yeah, I
you?
think if they had an option of like fighting him back, they probably would have. But I think at that point it was out of their hands.
Yeah.
It's kind of a big deal.
yeah. Tall or not, I think they were shit out of luck.
Damn it.
Like any other emperor at the time, it's just like, oh, god damn it.
This guy again.
Yeah, so we have a lot of groundwork to do. Start growing up longer, huh?
The best stories are like where they like they go up to a city and they like exact like a toll, like oh give us your money and we'll leave, and then they'd give them the money, like well they've got money, so then they just fuck them up.
Seems like this is a pay or
Yeah.
If
It's
they can
a win-win.
If they can afford to pay this, obviously there's more.
There's more.
Maximum return on investment. Dude. What was it like? You get the Scandinavian folks; they're really tall.
Yeah.
Why do you think that's the way?
I think it's supposedly like a dietary thing.
Right.
They just like farm more red meats and milk and stuff like that. 'Cause if you ever meet, you're going to like country farms here in WA. Everybody's like 3 heads taller than everybody else.
yeah.
It's like, and it's literally just like a dietary
Grains
and a
and
workout
proteins.
thing. Yeah,
Well,
you
if you go to like Southeast Asia, right, people are short because they eat basically like historically like a more poor diet, rice and I guess fish and whatever. But it's a lot of rice-based food. And as you go to like northern China, they become taller and taller, right?
We suddenly have cattle.
Yeah, exactly.
why
And
is
you've got-
northern China a more wealthy, affluent area?
Well, I just got better diet, I guess. Like Szechuan and stuff. People are tall. Yeah.
I'm a mix of both. I'm tall. I'm north and south.
I think you say you were tall and short.
Well, Tank's quite tall, right? You're not a short guy.
Yeah.
So there you go. It's that Khan.
That's why Kang's always out at the nightclub picking up ladies because they like the tall guys.
Dude, right now, I want to come up with like witty rebuttals, but all I can think about is, man, if I could replace my foot right now with a bionic, that would be great.
Yeah, I've been mad all day, and then Kane comes in limping, and before poor Johnny comes in, just like he's doing us a favor by jumping on the cars, and Kane and I cannot be fucked to be here. I would never call it. I'm not that kind of guy, but I was just like,
it was close.
Not in the fucking mood.
Close.
Like I had a dentist appointment today, and for some reason it was booked in the middle of the day. I don't know why I did that to myself, whatever, but it means I couldn't do anything before or really after.
Yeah.
Like the ADHD will just not allow me to like synchronize things, and also like don't have the time to actually probably fix something else out. So it was like a mixed mash of like admin stuff throughout the day. And then I'm in there, and the lady's testing like the muscles around my jaw, and she's like, oh, like the muscles on your jaw are too built up. And
he got big muscles.
Yeah,
Swole.
it's putting pressure on my jaw and
no.
effectively my teeth at the same time. And she's like, oh, like do you grind or clench? And I said, I'm fucking mad, like 99% of the day. She's like, oh, I mostly happen in your sleep. I was like, if I'm grinding in my sleep and I'm this mad during the day, I tell you, got a massive ass clenched jaws. So
apparently a lot of people grind their teeth in their sleep. Because my dad had to get a thing where in his sleep he used to put a thing in his mouth, so you'd be like, stop grinding his teeth.
What? So I'm on this like 9-month debacle on to replace my fucking pirate gap tooth, which a regular listener will know my amounts of dentistry things here. So after all this fucking process, we're in the process of getting it done, and the lady says today, she's like, oh, you're gonna have to wear a plate when you sleep so you don't grind away the new fake tooth. It's like, what the fuck, man? I go through all this process, spend all this money to replace this fucking tooth, and now I've got to sleep with a thing in? That seems counterintuitive to achieving. I'm not paying you $9,000 to get a plate in my mouth. Come on, man.
Welcome to the outrage cast.
It feels silly to sleep with a thing in your mouth, but I also feel like I'm going to have to get there at some point as well, because I think I grind my teeth in my sleep.
Yeah, I mean I think
yeah. She said my front ones are like nubs.
Yeah,
she used the word nubs.
Nubs.
You never want your like teeth. Described
Yeah,
as
I don't want
nubs,
anything
right?
about me
John's
described
got
as
good
nubs.
I do grind though. Yeah. But I mean, the thing is like sleeping and stuff
John's
in
on
your
that
mouth.
grind set.
The grind set, yeah, it's grinding. But if you have braces, it's not code braces. So the whole plate thing.
Oh, rich parents over here.
Well, I'm pretty.
I'm pretty sure the government pays for your braces here.
I was supposed to get braces. No, they don't.
They don't pay for
don't?
your braces. No. But
Don't you just go on a waiting list and eventually it happens?
Oh, well, I don't know.
Because I had
All I know is my sister got braces and my parents were too poor.
your parents are just
But that's also why I still have my fucking wisdom teeth that I'm going to now pay $5,000
your parents
to
are
take
just
them
too
out.
lazy
took
to go
mine
on the
out.
waiting list.
They actually never took my orthodontist was very anti removing teeth. It's like all the teeth are there.
Well, supposedly for every tooth you remove, you lose as your adult teeth. It dramatically reduces your life expectancy.
Really?
Yeah,
Is that hearsay or?
because it's opening up. It's because your teeth go up into your jaw, and then they block up there. But every time you take a tooth out, now there's flesh that grows up into the gaps where the tooth were, and that increases the chance of infection. As you get older, you're looking at the last quarter of your life. But it dramatically increases the chance of infection of anything that's in there. That's because your tooth is supposed to be there. It's not supposed to come out. So as it gets up in there, the chance for infection and stuff there, and it's like the build up of the flesh that goes up into where the gap is. It's not solid gum that is immune to like infections like you'd normally bruise. It's just regular like replacement flesh, and it's very prone. Kind of like when you get a scar on your hand, you're much more likely to get cancer, like skin cancer, this from the sun, because it's already damaged tissue essentially.
Right.
Fair enough.
Humans just traded everything for like big brain, no stats everywhere else.
Yeah.
Because we also we get 2 teeth and that's it. Well, every other creature is like, my teeth just keep going.
Sharks.
Yeah,
Like,
sharks
we'll just
and
have more teeth.
Pop one out, keep going.
Could you imagine?
I always
Imagine
think that's
just having
crazy
more teeth.
when you we have a baby and like my child's 13 and he still fucking trips over things because he's looking at his phone, and then a giraffe just shits out a giraffe and that motherfucker's like eating from a tree and running around like 5 minutes later.
We don't have claws, no wings, no regenerating teeth.
But I
Chop off
also
the limb.
thought
Ridiculous.
that
Doesn't regenerate.
I don't wear I want big claws and shit.
But we it's like in the character sheet, we just like put all our spec on brain matter, on like intelligence.
But I think humans were like, because you come out, right? You're not fully developed. Because if you kept growing, you wouldn't be able to come out.
Yeah, it should be like kangaroos. We should go into a pouch.
Where's our pouch?
Where the fuck is our pouch?
We need an intermediary step, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. To continue that judgment.
Because I think the way we're birthed, like the way we are, is because of our brain development.
Yeah.
Because we have such a long cycle for our brain to develop.
Our brains are huge.
Yeah.
If your head gets too much bigger in the vajayjay, you just can't get out.
Yeah,
That's it. You're trapped in there forever.
The female body has to get you out because otherwise you're not going to come out.
Yeah.
So
You ever seen like those like nature's metal things?
Nature
Yeah,
is metal.
It's like an
I used to
Instagram
watch all that all the time.
It's pretty gross, but it's like animals doing like animal things. And like when like a giraffe or a deer has a baby, if it's a bit shit, it just like stomps it to death straight away and then moves on.
It's not worth it.
Like, can you imagine if like Lucas comes out and I'm like, oh, he's clearly 80 shit. You just punch him in the face a bunch.
Yeah, that's the Spartan method,
I wouldn't have
right?
survived in the wild, that's for sure.
That's like Greek Spartans. Like your baby is deformed. We're gonna throw him off the
That's
cliff
like
now.
Sparta, right? They're like, you're
Oh no,
weak.
that's what they did to Hephaestus, right? Hephaestus,
yeah.
the Greek, one of the Greek gods of the forge.
Yeah, the forge,
When Zeus and Hera, Zeus and what's Zeus's wife's name again?
Gia? Is it Gia?
No,
Or is
Athena's
it?
the daughter. Hera. Yeah,
Hera.
Zeus and Hera. They were just like, not this one. Throw it off a cliff. And then
he got
he's
his
like,
vengeance.
I'll have my vengeance.
Yeah, he spends the rest of his whole life getting vengeance.
He was
Right?
basically
actually
like
one of my favorite.
He was basically like a Reddit nerd, right? He was like,
But
I'm smart. Yeah.
I'll
And
teach
he
them
gets the
with my
babe in the end.
brains.
he's one of my favorites.
Yeah, he gets the babe.
Yeah,
He gets the hot
he
chick.
like he has this whole like revenge arc where he plans everything, and then eventually he like basically marries Aphrodite.
Did you finish that Stephen Fry book?
No, I've been meaning to though. I've been listening to
remember
an
what it's
audiobook. It's called Stephen Fry narrates the Greek mythologies. No, I don't know.
I
It's,
also tried to read it and then ended up getting the audiobook and listening to it.
yeah.
If Stephen Fry is like doing an audiobook, you're going to listen to the audiobook.
Yeah,
He's so interesting.
He wrote the book as well, though.
Greek
It's quite
myths
good.
translate well to like stage. Well, obviously, it obviously translates well to stage plays and like audiobooks because most Greek myth was just plays.
Yeah,
Plays, yeah.
Yeah.
So,
I love the like the Greek history thing where it's like it gives you a history, but most likely none of it's true whatsoever.
So-
Like it's all like recounts of recounts of recounts.
yeah, there's a whole thing, right? Like same with biblical texts because there's a big gap. I don't know how interesting this is, but there was a big gap.
I'm keen.
Oh, yeah,
There's a
welcome
big gap, right?
welcome to what we do, John.
I'm unsure if this is
We
interesting.
know history, we know animals, and we know gout.
Every time we post a new podcast, we just attach that emoji where the guy's put his two hands up next
Yeah,
to
yeah.
it. It's just like,
You know what you're signing up for.
It's just good. But yeah, so like there's the Bronze Age collapse, right, which happened everywhere in the Middle East, in the Levant, everything. And there's a big gap between things that happened before the Bronze Age collapse and after the Bronze Age collapse. So before the Bronze Age collapse, everything was like mythology. So it was like Abraham, Isaac, Jacob, all those sort of figures were pre-Bronze Age collapse. And then afterwards, where you actually have the records, it's post-Bronze Age. So where you're talking about myths and stuff.
Yeah.
So a lot of that came from before. It's like the before times. It was kind of like, how do you imagine like the dark age of technology?
Yeah.
yeah,
It's like that sort of thing. So there was some sort of cataclysm, and they're not really sure what it was. But everyone went from high functioning, integral, everything's working in society to like Mad Max.
I hear
Like
it
back to
happens.
caveman
I hear
shit.
it
Mad
happens
Max,
a
yeah.
lot though. Like things do operate on cycles.
Do you think we're close? I hope we're close.
Like Rome,
I just got to send another tax bill, and
Yeah.
I'm like, just give me a Mad Max situation
It
now.
feels very end
we
of
just need
empire,
another
right? It
Genghis
feels
Khan
like-
to come through,
yeah.
right? So,
But yeah,
because you know you have because I mentioned the Romans never thought that Rome was going to be like, oops, sacked.
Like,
So
I know this is like 2022 fucking conversation here, but like, do you guys think about like the end of the world and what you'd be doing a lot?
well,
Because I do it a lot,
yeah.
like daily.
On the daily.
I daily think about how I try and get back to my child to collect him and which humans I'm willing to sacrifice along the way.
Yeah.
And like where
I
live
do
in
think
the
about
city.
I probably wouldn't eat a person, but I would kill a person.
I never got to the point of eating people at all. It's more of like a
Would I- would I-
industrious, like-
would I-
natural-
would I-
I think
would
it's
I-
a natural question.
Would I like fight to survive? Yeah, I would.
yeah.
I think
Like I think you think about your neighbors in the houses on either side, like
I could take it.
yeah, fuck.
But I think there's that point where you get there's obviously like fight or flight, right? So
Yeah.
there's a point where you have to make a decision, but then there's another point surely where it's like fight or die,
Yeah.
right? It's like if I don't do something right now, that's it. It's me or you.
Yeah,
like, it's like that fight on the street. kind of
Apparently,
thing.
it's 3 now. It's not just fight or flight, but apparently now most people it's fight, flight, or like freeze.
yeah,
Apparently
Yeah.
freezing happens to a lot of people.
yeah.
Yeah, you see that a lot in like people that end up in like fights on the street and they like start a fight and then they get punched and then they're just like, oh,
Don't,
Not it,
like
Chief.
stun mullet.
top tip: don't start fights.
I would
Especially on the street.
That's
yeah.
the first tip, but I'm
Yeah,
assuming that the people that are already in that position aren't in a
They're not
position to
thinking
stop.
about it.
Yeah,
if the apocalypse ever happens, I want to be like the guy that's the rogue character. I want to just put a robe on and just like be mysterious and hide in places.
So-
and if I ever need to like steal food, I'll just like come out in the shadow and stab you a bunch of times, take your beans and run.
This goes into the arc that Kang's actually going to become an Adaptus Mechanicus. person.
oh, I hope so.
Dude, if
he's
I can
like-
replace my limbs for like augmentations, just go for it, man.
It's
at
like
this
the
point.
techno barbarians, right? And Kang's the techno barbarian.
Dude, I watched enough cyberpunk stuff to be like, give me it.
yeah. I can see it.
I'm ready for Big Hang to be my like messiah. I'm okay with that.
The Kang Messiah.
Yeah.
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 What would you be in the apocalypse? just
I want to be like background character number 4.
yeah.
But I just, I'm sick of running shit. I want to not run shit.
That's a pretty lofty ambition.
You watch like you've watched Mad Max, right? And like
Yeah.
the only person that's having good fun is like the mechanic.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Are the
guy
guy on top of the stick that's spinning around, like bending around, like that. I just want to be like, just give me like a axe and like a bird that listens to my like sends messages, and that's it, man.
It feels
I'm good.
very.
That's cool. That's a main character.
It feels very Family Guy, right? It's like in Family Guy jokes where it's like, the Death Star. It's like something going on, and they zoom in on the two dudes who are like standing. When they shoot the beam out of the,
Yeah.
and then the two guys are like, "Whoa, this is really dangerous. There's no handrail here." That's Danny. That's what Danny wants to be in the apocalypse.
I've been trying to main character my own life for too long, and like I like run my own business and I do my own thing, and like I had kids hell young, and I'm like fucking. I'm just sick of making decisions. I'm sick of people who want shit from me. I just want to move into the background. Like I deliver out to this guy's house who's like building a like a castle into the ground. Like out, so he's building like a castle, and eventually it'll be covered back over with dirt, and the entire thing's underground. And he's planted trees 20 years ago, so they've grown now, and it's blocking out any vision of any road or surrounding thing. And I've never wanted to be a man so much in my entire life. Like the minute you cross the bridge over his fucking moat river into his property, and then like he's completely disjointed from the world. I couldn't resound to be a man anymore in my entire life. Like he's just
So he's got the apocalypse sorted.
Oh,
I'm
he's
hearing.
fucking like if I'd have to get a
bunkered up
horsey
ready.
and
Yeah,
ride my way
he's
out there
good to
because it's about an hour out of Perth. But I'd go there straight away.
But that's where like
him
a
and his family,
warlord's
but
house would
assert
be.
dominance.
That's where like the warlord's house would be in the local area.
Pretty much, yeah.
Well, he
I
can
wanna-
raise his drawbridge up, and then he's just across the
good.
river. I guess you could. It's not
Well, no, then
massive
that's where you
river, so
lay
could just-
siege, and that's when you throw the bubonic plague bodies.
We've
Into
gone
the
full circle. We've gone full circle.
We've gone full circle.
I want Kang's riding on a horse.
Yeah.
Right? He's like,
Exactly.
with
After
the
in the
legions.
apocalypse, like after a long day of me scavenging for goods, I just go to the town, I knock on the door, and the little window opens up, and it's John inside.
I was gonna say I would definitely be the merchant, right?
John's like the fence. He would
feel
be
like I'd
like,
be the merchant.
yeah, I'll
Yeah.
come in with like batteries and like can of beans, and be like, what can you give me for this?
Like, let me just top that up for you real quick.
Yeah.
It's
What's
like four
like in
caps.
Fallout, how they use like the nuka caps.
Yep.
What's the realistic? What's the nuka cap thing? What would it be?
We'll just go back to gold, right? It would just be jewels.
Well, yeah,
valuables again.
The nuka cap thing's really smart because I looked into it because I don't know. This
Coins.
Is what, I'm not going to try and explain
He's the
myself. There's no
currency
point. But like the whole idea was like it's a scarce item, right? It was like they were the leftovers of the pre-war
because it
world.
can't be manufactured again.
Can't be
so
manufactured
like most
again.
things that can't be manufactured again.
That's
there's
why,
inherent
yeah. So
value to it.
so basically, people are like mining for it because they're like
That's where we
the
went
rare
wrong
things.
in the real world. Is where when we need money, we just print more of it.
Yeah, exactly. It's just the same. But yeah,
What
so-
now? The money in my bank is worth less than I started with. Yeah,
It's a good
inflation.
system. It's a
Yay.
good system.
Yeah,
But yeah, like it would have to be something which is scarce, right? Like some sort of scarce
yeah.
item.
It's like it would probably just be like food and barter,
Initially,
and then
yeah.
eventually it would start moving towards like where we were like post Bronze Age, where it just
Mm.
becomes like.
It's scalps. I want it to be scalps. You trade scalps.
human fingers.
But scalps, you will have inflation in scalps because more humans are being born.
No, it'll go down.
What's the exchange
There'll
rate?
be a boost at the start where there's lots of scalps, and as time goes by, you'll be like, "Fuck, I gotta scalp my nan.
So,
We need a new horse."
so
Sorry, man.
How many is a new pair of
So
shoes?
how would you transport the scalps around?
Just carry like real aggressively, holding them by the hair,
Yeah.
and just like so people that are aware.
Yeah.
You're like it's like almost like getting an expensive.
Danny's not the background character.
I was gonna say, this is a very background character.
Danny's like me and John have like gone on this adventure into the wasteland to find more valuables, and we come across the crazy person holding scalps in the desert.
And it's like he's got following as well.
Yeah.
In a straight jacket, you open a straight jacket, you guys are scalps.
Yeah,
I do.
I was like, we don't use scalps. It's like, you guys want some scalps?
yeah. Well, no, you don't understand. Scalps. You gotta buy scalps in 10 years' time. The scalps can worth so much money.
It's like a
Savage
perfectly
World.
functioning market where people are like bartering fruit and vegetables for sheep, and there's this guy with scalps.
And then like 10 years later, I was like, oh fuck, I should have invested in scalps.
It's the Bitcoin all over again.
Yeah, scalps went up so much in prices.
the world completely ends, and you have to restart, and it's somehow you found yourself like in scalp debt. Like, man,
And Danny's in his castle,
Yeah.
the Scalp King.
I really should have invested in this new card.
Yeah. He doesn't know the address to that house with the moat. So.
The scalp inflation's crazy.
So yeah, that's what goes on your head every day, huh?
Yeah,
Just
pretty much,
when you're
yeah.
driving your trucks, you're
I
like,
have like a full plan. Like I think about how much fuel's left in my truck. So if like there's an EMP, like I can restart the truck because it runs on diesel. There's no electric components. So how far can I drive through traffic to get back to my child? I always
now, in
think
the
as well,
apocalypse, traffic becomes hell, right? So you need to avoid
Get off the roads.
You
well,
gotta get off the
I got
roads.
a big old truck with a bull bar on the front of it. So
Yeah,
the
but
reason you're getting off the roads is because of me.
Fair.
That's the plan. And then you know the Swan Brewery on the side
Oh,
there.
yeah.
That would be like the ultimate keep because you have access to water and there's that
Are
multi-story
we talking?
car.
Are we talking war apocalypse or like a zombie
Well,
apocalypse?
In most of probably that. It's probably zombie apocalypse. I
But it's
reckon.
also got the bridge across as well.
Yeah.
Which is very cool.
Yeah, it
That's
is.
where when we got married, that was where our event was.
Oh,
so I didn't
so
get married
cool.
there, but that's where we.
Well, there's the multi-story car park that it
Yeah, it
connects
is.
to, right?
Correct, yeah.
And you could put dirt in there and turn that into a farm.
Yep.
And it's protected because it's protected from surrounds. So you could keep sheepies and shit in there.
And best of all, it's on Mounts Bay Road, right?
Yeah,
So
yeah.
you can just block it in. How I was seeing it from the top, there's a massive drop from Kings Park down to the bottom.
Yeah.
So you can easily fortify the
All right,
road.
if there's an apocalypse,
You know where I'm going to be.
yeah,
It
I'll
kind
go
of
find
trends.
you.
It trends.
But I, during the apocalypse, I always figure that it's like you want to be one of those cool guys riding the horse.
Yeah.
Horses can get around.
Yeah.
The horse isn't going to run a flat.
You ever ridden a horse?
No.
You ridden a horse?
Negative.
They're fucking massive.
Yeah.
They're huge. Yeah, I've seen them.
I've been on a
Never ridden one.
horse and they're like, it's real.
I get
It's
it.
real bigger than you expect.
I
it to
get
be.
why they use horses for war.
You feel real manly.
If you're like a
Like-
yeah, it's like that. It's like that primal brain of like,
Yeah.
Alexander the Great also rode a horse.
I'm basically
Do you know
Alexander.
what, you know what they reckon in Britain though, for the majority part, because most of the British people were actually way shorter, and they mostly had like hobby horse size horses. So like we think of us things as like shining knights in armor on these massive horses, but it was mostly
Those
like
ponies.
little short guys like
Damn it.
on like ponies effectively. So closer to like what's the English comedy thing where they
Monty Python?
Yeah, the Monty Python. It's a bit closer to the Monty Python
it.
sketches where it's like
Clap, 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 clap,
yeah, they're
clap, clap.
copping around the place.
In
yeah.
my head, it's way cooler. Like the Cherokees, like the Native Americans.
yeah.
Where they're just like riding those horses and shooting rifles.
They're like standing up.
Well,
on the
they
horse
reckon
and, like
that's
supposedly
cool.
there was more horses in the United States than there was like Native Indians.
it tracks, right? They
That
have
makes
big
sense.
open
That makes
plains.
sense. Yeah.
Because horses are found pretty much everywhere except Australia.
Yeah, we got horses.
Did we?
Yeah,
No, they weren't native. to
We didn't
Australia.
just ride kangaroos.
yeah. They're just
Kangaroos and camels, bro. Easy.
Do you know that camels have like fucked us up real
Yes.
bad? Like they've destroyed like the majority. Like people talk about like us destroying things. Camels have destroyed the majority of the vegetation in the country.
And rabbits.
Yeah, but camels are like bigger and they do
Riding a
things.
camel would be cool, but it's still somehow less cooler than riding a horse.
Yeah,
It's
absolutely.
It
It's
definitely
just the
seems
shape
cool.
of the camel.
Like
It's just a little too S-shaped. A little weird, funny thing.
Well, because like most things aren't native to Australia that we brought in, like horses and camels and all that shit are all from like somewhere else, right? And they reckon the Blue Mountains, over the hundreds of years it's been there now, they can record the change of the river that goes through the Blue Mountains based on how badly the horses have trampled the
Oh, man.
the land in
right.
the area, so they can track and like the migration of the horses that go through has dramatically because they impact the ground so much, dramatically changed the course of the river, and it's impacted different things like fauna and native things because we have like all these situations in Australia where a pocket of a forest and this one kind of mushroom grows in this one place and it's never been discovered anywhere else. And then you have the same thing for like certain bugs and flowers, and this process repeats
Shit,
itself.
can you imagine if that one mushroom was like the cure to the zombie apocalypse?
Yeah, well, it could be. We're fucked.
Yeah.
Because of the horses.
But think about
God damn it.
we could have used the scalps of the Tasmanian devils for our currency. Now we're fucked. What do we do?
The Tasmanian tiger, just out of like speaking on this topic, like that is to me a pretty cool topic. Tasmanian tiger.
Yeah.
Like, are they still out there? Right. That whole
It's like
that whole
the
thought.
hunting for Bigfoot.
Yeah.
They're still trying to find if there is still wild Tasmanian tigers.
Well, funnily enough, because quite recently in the news, they've reported that they can clone the Tasmanian tiger,
Ah, there you go.
but they don't have enough genetic pool for it to survive more than 2 generations.
So they'll clone one and they'll die out. Basically,
Effectively,
again.
yeah, because they've only got I think one or two males or something. I think got the genetics for. So they would like have sex with each other and then have babies, and then those babies have sex with each other, and then they're just like
They'll just
so.
die out.
Nature
yeah.
really figured it out. Like you can't just breed with yourself.
What's it like in the
I know.
Matrix? where
I've
they're,
been trying for ages.
Yeah,
It's ridiculous.
You just clone yourself.
pregnant hand over there. But yeah, they have in the Matrix. At the end of the Matrix, they're like, we have to repopulate Zion, and they're like, pick. Was it 4 women and 3 men or whatever it is? And
Not enough, bro.
Yeah.
That genetic pool is going to become super real soon.
Yeah.
I also like it's 4 women and 3 men, so they instantly start with a fight.
But yeah, that was pretty cool. Yeah, that was my. I don't know. I find it.
So you on the hunt for the Tasmanian tigers?
Thylacine. Yeah, I don't know. It's pretty cool. I think it's a cool.
You ever been down to Tasmania?
Nah, never been
to check it out?
Nah.
Just wandering around the forest, looking around.
The Tasmanian devil is endangered because it has herpes.
No, it has cancer.
Oh wait, it's way worse than
It's a
herpes.
cancer.
Wait,
that
are these
spread.
different things?
It's contagious cancer.
Devil and the tiger is
Yeah,
different.
yeah. The tiger was the one that looks like a big dog.
Yeah.
Kind of thing.
The tiger looks like a dingo with stripes.
I didn't know they were different things.
different things,
So there's one still alive now?
Yeah, the Tasmanian
devil's
devil's still around.
Haven't you seen the devil?
Oh, that's the little black one, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
But
yeah.
it's on its way down.
Yeah, has a face cancer, which
Yeah.
is contagious.
That's contagious.
Contagious cancer. Yeah.
There was a peer-reviewed study that came out. A doctor did a surgery in somewhere in 1990, and he removing cancer from a patient. But when he was cutting, he cut his finger with this incisors that he was using to cut this things out. And then later on, he got this cancer, the same cancer in his finger, and it was tested, and it genetically was the exact same as the cancer they cut out of the person.
Yeah, right.
And it was before this peer-reviewed study had been, because they reviewed it quite a few times because they wanted to make sure that they hadn't fudged it up, right? And but it was completely thought there was no way for you to like transfer cancer from one person to the other, like physically, because quite often there's when you have like a organ transplant and the organ doesn't take. That's essentially what happens when cancer gets transferred from one body to another, like in all the lab testing with like mice and shit.
The DNA is not there.
But the exact genetic structure of the cancer cut out of the person was in the guy's finger.
See, if he had
That's your World War Z.
Yeah,
if
it
he
is,
drank
right?
some colloidal silver, he would be fine. You know what I mean?
Silver was the answer.
Silver was always the answer. So.
This week's sponsorship is Colonial Silver.
Are you tired of non-colloidal silver?
Yeah. It's the most snake oil oldie thing ever.
That is, right?
Yeah. Have you seen the bottles they package it in?
No.
It just looks like snake oil.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I kind of want some now.
You know what? I kind
called
of.
oily
Wait,
snake.
if you get some, I'm
I'll
curious.
hook you up with some colloidal silver.
I'll have a sip. I'm like, what does it taste like?
And your foot's like magically better.
Dude,
Like,
can you
damn,
imagine if it does?
that's real.
I would
It tastes
start,
like getting scammed.
yeah. It's like a pyramid scheme. Like my foot's cured and I start selling it as well.
His foot was never
Multi-level marketing.
in sore. He's just put this on. So when he drinks the
Sponsored
colloidal
by colloidal
silver,
silver.
we're like, well, it's
Whoa,
crazy.
I'm saved, guys. I was blind and now I can see again.
I love watching those like evangelical
Oh,
clips.
dude.
Dude.
Have you seen the one where the
That's so
guy
funny.
when his kid's an idiot and he's like,
Wait, what happened? Did they just like drink some silver?
I have
He
seen
did the
the one
math
you're
test
talking about.
and he's fine.
the guy gets up on stage. He's like, my son suffers from affliction of being stupid. I think he says.
Wait,
some
can
more,
you imagine the son's like, bro, what the fuck?
What does he call him?
Dad,
Like,
what do you mean?
He says something like ADHD or Down syndrome
Yeah,
or something.
yeah,
So something more, a bit more mean. But it's like he's like, I need you to like remove it from me. And then the guy, like the preacher guy, starts doing the thing, and then he's just like rolling around the ground and we're like,
Wait, I want to be there. I want to one of these days.
Go to an evangelical.
This is we talk about bucket lists in the past. This is a bucket list item for me. I want to sneak into one of those evangelical things.
the
I
classic
just want
one.
to slide in there and just get to the front row so that he's going to call me up on stage and I'll be like, let's do it. Because what's the worst that could happen? What if I do see Jesus?
it's true.
Then I'm fucked.
He'll know. He'll
Yeah,
know.
you see him and he knows you're taking the piss.
Yeah.
You're like, oh
Oh
shit.
no, I can explain, bro.
You come back with bum herpes or something.
But otherwise, it'll be hell funny where it's like,
What's Jesus going to give you? Like to punish you?
oh, I guess I'll take that.
But my favorite one of those is the dude is like he's like, oh, what does the Lord say to you? And you can see him thinking, and he's like, and like,
Dude, I have.
he runs.
Yeah. I could have so many lines loaded up for when they
So
call me on
funny.
stage. He puts his hand on my forehead and it's like, Jesus speaks through you. What do you say? And I could say anything. It would be all those things. I could say.
Anything you want.
Yeah.
Yeah. Everyone's like, oh,
Yeah. I could
he's
be like,
real
celery is the answer. And then people would go out and buy celery.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. The Prophet Kang, we call him.
Yeah. I'm ready.
Jesus tells me to come buy cards at Northern Bar.
Yeah.
Best prices,
Yeah.
best range.
Everyone's like, it's a weird one, but you know what? If Jesus says so.
Have you guys heard of Magic the Gathering?
No, it's heresy. They
That's
used to-
heresy. Oh, that's
They wanted
true.
to ban Magic the
Yeah,
Gathering.
that is true.
Yeah, but they always wanted to ban something.
Yeah, heavy metal.
Yeah.
But they did change the cards from Alpha Beta to Revised.
Yeah, there was a couple arts that had like pentagrams and
Yeah,
demons,
demonic tutor
and they
did.
had to censor them.
Yeah, no shit.
So they had a pentagram on the demonic tutors.
But it was like 89 or something when they came out, right?
Yeah,
And they still
was like-
they were still up that.
it was like very biblical.
I know in the like
America.
60s and 70s, like the D&D was like a
was a big thing. Yeah, but I mean, like even in the 90s, they were talking about like heavy metal being satanic and stuff.
America's still pretty biblical, right?
It's
In some
very
places.
conservative in that sense. Yeah.
Oh, another bucket list goal. I want to like sneak myself into like a Mormon church, but like not so a Mormon like closed community. I just want to sneak in there.
Mormon or
You might stand
Amish?
out just a little bit.
No, but I want to like sneak in there and hide in the walls.
Do you
Like,
mean Mormon or
the ceiling.
Amish? Kang?
No, Amish are cool.
Okay. Okay.
You know what's funny? I used to like be like, oh, those Amish fellas are pretty silly.
I think
but
you're onto something.
I've watched a lot of videos of Amish folks, and they're just chilling.
Yeah, they're just cool
kind of
bros.
just chilling.
Chilling, building sheds and shit.
Yeah, they're just
Yeah,
like
with
living their life, dude. They're
With
hanging
their
out.
horses?
Yeah, they got riding on horses, dude. They would survive the apocalypse. They would have no problem surviving the zombie apocalypse.
I like them having a whole soccer team worth of wives. I reckon that's gas. I want
That's
that.
A
Mormons
soccer
as well,
team.
right?
Yeah. Just think about how much better the chores
how it
would be
works?
around the
I like
house.
how like the unit of measure for wives is soccer teams.
I don't get this again. To be fair though, my frame reference of Amish is I actually don't know much about Amish people and their faith. I just know that I watch videos of like people go to like Amish markets and they buy like hell cool like barbecue or like meats from them because they're just like they're with nature and they know how to cook.
Yeah, they raise the animals in like a more natural way.
Yeah, I would love to go visit an Amish market.
No GMOs
But anyway,
in those bitches.
the Mormons, right?
Mormons.
So the Mormons, I want to sneak into like the ceiling rafters of like a Mormon home and just whisper things at night.
You mean these, when you say
Dude, can you
Mormons?
imagine?
You mean like
Theoretically, there's nothing stopping you doing that. I don't recommend
But
it.
they're Mormons. They're already like getting influenced by like other things, right? So I could be like, I'm God. Listen to me. Yeah.
Kang? This
What would
might
your
not
first
work.
decree be?
My first decree.
Yeah.
I would just be do something stupid like, go make a statue of me. Yeah.
And they're like, what does me look like?
Yeah. I'll be like, it looks like, I don't know. It'll be something silly like a space marine.
The God Emperor? Is that what you're basically
Yeah.
doing? Yeah.
Trying to convince him that's real.
Yeah.
It's all true.
It isn't? Damn. Spent a lot of money on this
I
stuff.
realize now that a lot of my like bucket list things is just it's just social manipulation. It's not a great look. It's not a great look.
Social manipulation.
But if you can't tell me that
And that's
if
just a fancy way of just being a dick.
yeah.
you can't tell me that if there wasn't an apocalypse, you wouldn't want to just be like a cult leader.
It sounds like a lot of responsibility.
Okay.
I don't know.
It's just me. You guys have no responses. So
I mean,
you know,
It
like
depends on what the cult's about.
yeah, but like once again, it's like
Like, are we a fishing cult or are we like a weird sex cult?
no. I've always
We're a weird fishing sex cult. we all
We're
fish,
from column A,
but you
they're
gotta
from
do it with no
column B.
pants.
I've always been like, if like I had superpowers, or if like a genie came up to me, like my wishes it would just be something really stupid. Like it would honestly just be like something really silly.
like, okay. So, 3 wishes, Kang.
Yeah.
What are your 3 wishes?
My first wish is okay. I want. Okay, if I could have a superpower, it would be telekinesis. Not because it's like convenient, right? But can you imagine the comedy things you could do with telekinesis? Right?
It's a gift to everyone else, is that what you're saying?
Imagine everyone shit their pants.
No. You're thinking the wrong way, not shit their pants. Imagine if someone needs to shit, and while they're halfway through, you put it back in there.
I mean, I can comfortably say I've never thought about this scenario.
Think about it.
But
Think
it's
about it.
interesting.
But
Do
It's
you have
interesting.
to like really perfectly imagine the inside of this sphincter?
I don't need
Like,
details. I don't need
Good accent on the
details.
sphincter.
I just want to. Can you? I go to a public bathroom, right? And like I'm there washing my hands, and there's somebody to go.
He's in the
so
local
much
toilet
worse.
right now, just like
Getting worse.
imagining shit going back up in someone.
But I can. No,
praying.
for me, I need to. The reaction. Can you imagine the reaction? Someone's like taking a shit. Suddenly they're like, ah!
It sounds honestly like a Japanese like TV show / commercial, right? That's what it sounds like to me. Okay, so wish number 1, telekinesis. Wish number 2, Kang.
Wish number 2 would be like I want exactly 50% of the world to hear my voice. But I want to have like one sentence and the other 50% of the world not to hear my voice. And I'll say something really, really fucking stupid like, they're coming. And that's it. Right? And then the world
Is
is
it a hard line? So
No,
like,
and then the world would
say the
be-
lines between me and John, like he would hear it and I wouldn't.
Yeah, and the world would be chaos.
line.
Because half the people will be like, I heard that. And half would be like, I didn't hear that. Why didn't I hear it? The world would be in chaos. I could say,
Okay.
but it would be like, I'll just give me a sentence. It would be a sentence. It would be something like completely nonsensical. And I just want to fuck with people.
Okay.
I just want to collapse society.
Okay. Telekinesis.
Very
to
not
troll
altruistic
people.
of you, but
Telekinesis to troll people.
Yeah.
Half the world to hear you to troll people. What's
Or I'll just like, or
what's the third?
Or
thing,
just
Kang?
like, or like a whisper in the ear of half the population in the world, where it's like, Kang is the Messiah.
Okay.
And then see what happens.
That's the third wish. The other half.
No,
of the
that
plan?
was part of the second.
Okay,
wish. The
what's the
second
third
wish
wish?
is just want to broadcast into like the people's brains.
Okay. What's the third wish?
No more gout.
Fair enough.
No more gout?
That one's honourable.
Yeah.
That's an honourable thing.
For you or everybody?
Me.
Less honourable.
I've caused enough havoc in society. No one can have gout anymore.
Okay.
It's fine.
Very generous.
Yeah.
But you could have said, world peace, end of starvation.
I can fix that with
I feel like
telekinesis,
they're
I think.
things that we come up with, so we can solve it this time. But then it gets like we're gonna make it happen again.
Yeah, but
It's true.
everyone has like super lame wishes. Everyone's like, oh, if a genie show up and one of your wishes, and it's gonna be like, I want a lot of money. I want like to live forever. No, bro. Now you're not thinking funny enough.
damn.
I mean,
Mine was a bit that I want a lot of money and live forever.
Yeah, cool. The genie's like, oh, this again? All right, go back to my life.
I'd like to.
wanna
I'd
live
like to
forever.
go back and like start at like caveman time,
Yeah.
and then but live forever from there. So I can I can direct how human society
That's a good
goes.
one.
Like imagine going back.
But what if
You're
it
the
gets
immortal.
what if it gets like way worse? What if like because you're used to the current day luxuries? What if like you going back in the time and ruling everything also means that we never get internet?
Nah, because if I'm invincible, that's fine. If I'm like, if I go back and I'm like, theoretically, because I'm going to live until I'm at least my age now, like in the current time, so I'm be invincible. That's the theory of this is that I'd go through and then I can like direct time. But if we stay in like the Middle Ages, that's fine. I would just be like, don't drink the water before boiling it, you fucks. And they'll be like, oh my God, we don't shit ourselves anymore. They'll be amazed. I don't know.
But
Like,
you also can't. They might just burn you for being a witch.
no, invincible.
but isn't there a,
Yeah, but I don't know if invincibility is good.
so there's,
Yeah.
What if they just like bury you?
but there's a superhero or
They
supervillain.
tie you up and
Invincibility
bury you.
dig.
But there's a supervillain, Danny, what you're describing, right? There's the dude who's
What you actually
from
want to say
DC.
is that you want to be the Hulk.
No, not
They
the Hulk.
can't bury you.
No,
They
no,
can't strap you.
he's been the dude who's what's his name? He sleeps next to the meteor in DC, and he wakes up and he's immortal, and he's really smart.
Oh, I'm not that far. I'm
not sure.
Oh God, I have to look it up.
Green Lantern. Oh wait, the
Lantern?
Martian Manhunter.
No, he's a baddie. Because I was going to get to where I was going to is you'll become a baddie because you'll want to warp society in your image.
And
I
I'll be telekinesis messiah.
No, I'll be
the
chill
good
about
guy.
it. I'll just be like, look, imagine if you go back in time and just like convince them that like, leeching isn't going to help, but you can do you can do things like drinking
Wash your
cleaner
hands,
water.
dumbass.
Yeah, stop shitting in the same place you're eating. And like, they'll be like, oh my God, like half society didn't die. It'd be incredible.
But what if humanity needed to go through those apocalypse deaths so we could be here?
Yeah, but if I fix them first,
And
they'll think I'm.
what if all the dumbasses now survive?
Oh, it's true. It's like I'm allergic to bees. I should have not survived.
Like a good wish would just
I
be like
ruined their life
a good wish would be
timeline.
like, okay, can I go back to being where I was 12 years ago but retain all my memories? You could plan everything out. You know what I mean?
True.
And you could just go back and like buy Bitcoin.
I do think like how if I went back in history, could I like I could say like don't drink contaminated water, but I also couldn't tell them how to like make a washing machine.
Do you reckon you can
like
save?
how much can I really help them?
You just have to be like, oi, that guy looks smart. Keep him around.
That guy looks like him
You just
around.
wait till like pivotal points when like Tesla comes along and you're like, oh,
You're like,
We
wait
need
a
him.
minute, I recognize you. You're Isaac Newton. I need you.
The blue eyes.
Yeah.
So the theory I have, right, in the sin, you see things that happen in the world, right? So like, JFK gets assassinated, John Lennon gets assassinated. You think to yourself, because people say like time travel doesn't exist.
Yeah.
What if time travel does exist? And all it is, I feel like Joe Rogan. All it is like
Johnny Rogan.
that's the manifestation of that occurring, and you're pushed in a specific direction.
You went back and shot JFK.
No? Question mark. But like, surely there has to be something there, right? Because it seems like maybe it's a cause. Like,
Well, clearly we're in a timeline where everyone's like, Hitler. Don't worry about him.
Yeah, true.
Don't have to shoot Hitler.
you know what I mean? I don't know. Like maybe it's I don't know. Don't know,
We're in the
man.
timeline where
Maybe
Harambe
Johnny
gets
Coyne's
killed.
like being one of the few Jews that's left. You know what I mean? Like it makes it more
One
special.
of the few that's left.
Well, there'd be a lot more.
That's true. That is true. Yeah. I mean, you're not wrong. Yeah. I mean, these are facts.
Mouths, baby.
Yeah, downside Hitler. Upside we have.
Specialized Jews. I'm a quarter Jew. I'm allowed to say what I want.
I'll go back and stop Harambe from dying.
Yes.
just to see where meme culture
Did you see
goes.
Kurt the other day had the Harambe shirt on?
Yeah.
That was pretty funny.
Did he?
Yeah.
Oh, damn. He could pull it off.
Yeah.
'Cause I want to see where meme culture goes from there because it always feels like we're going back. To the
You go back to the 13th century and all you do is introduce memes.
oh, you bet, dude.
it's just memes chiseled on rocks.
I want those like explorers who like open up the
Tutankhamun?
pharaoh's Tutankhamun's tomb, and on there it's just a meme.
Yeah. But maybe it was.
It's just a
just don't
Wojak.
get it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you see that thing in Russia where they found all the coins?
Yes.
Yeah, pretty
What
cool,
happened?
right?
It's cool.
They opened up some like super old ass like burial ground. Or was it Germany? It was Germany, wasn't
There was one in Turkey. Is that the one you're thinking of? All the Persian coins they found. That caused last
Yeah,
week.
but what if you unleash an ancient pharaoh's curse?
Well, there is that curse, right? Of the topically about Hitler when he invaded the Russians, right? Those are Russian dudes, the USSR, and they went and opened up the tomb of that previous conqueror, and they opened the tomb, and it coincided with Hitler's. This is like bit of a wives' tale, but coincided with the Germans invading Russia when they opened the tomb, and when they closed the tomb is when the Russians won the Battle of Stalingrad.
Really?
It's like the turning point.
Do you think they're sitting on that tomb now?
I have to look it up now.
Like
Damn.
holding-
I saw it actually quite recently.
I would love it if all that Indiana Jones stuff was real.
Oh,
That would make history so much more exciting.
so I discussed this with Kurgan, right? About there's parts in movies when you want just that movie.
Yeah.
So like the beginning of Lord of the Rings, when they have the big battle, the final
Battle
battle.
of the Fields, yeah.
The beginning.
Oh, it's the original one.
The Last Alliance. And you're like, I just want a movie of that.
Yeah.
Like that battle. I want that movie.
yeah.
It's like Indiana Jones at the end of the movie when they go into the warehouse and they've got all the crates.
Oh yeah,
I
All
want a
the
movie about that.
conspiracies. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, is that
Ooh.
you know?
Isn't that just X Files?
Pretty much like X-Files, yeah.
What's X-Files?
It's
TV show.
Really?
From the
No,
90s.
it's a sci-fi
Oh,
movie
the
about
show.
all the conspiracies and stuff.
Yeah.
It's like what if
Mulder and Scully?
yeah, Mulder and Scully. What if like aliens and UFOs and all that Bigfoot was real? All that was real.
Yeah.
It's like Men in Black. Think about it like Men in Black.
Got it.
Yeah. So like that's always like, I guess they leave those nuggets, right? So people
I
go
take it
and
back.
catch
My
them.
third wish is I want Men in Black to be real.
I can get
That's a
on
cool
board with.
wish.
I love Men in Black.
You guys can all be involved.
Sick.
Agent J. I've already got
Nice.
I want to be the alien with the nuts.
Agent K. Yeah.
Agent K.
Agent K.
Agent J.
Yeah.
Daddy.
Just call me Big Papa D.
Agent Big D.
Dude, there was a good span of 2000s movies that like the Men in Black movies coming out. And it was
Didn't they try to bring it
cool
back?
Sci-fi.
Was any good?
No, no one checked it out
Yeah, I watched it. It was with Chris Hemsworth.
because they didn't have Will
They
Smith.
keep shoving Chris Hemsworth in stuff that turns out to be bad.
Pretty
Do you think
much.
it's him that's bad, or he's getting on board with like bad
I
projects?
thought so, but then I watched him in Mad Max Furiosa, and that was actually pretty alright.
He's not a bad actor. I think he just they just a lot of the writing is hinging on him being in there.
You see how big his arms were though when he was Thor.
Huge.
Yeah,
So I went the other because I've had a rough couple weeks, right? And I'm trying to give myself a little bit of personal time when I really don't have it. But during the workday, I decided to go to the movies and go watch Mad Max Fury Road. So I went to the movies at Karen up there.
Oh, yeah.
Whitford, sorry.
Whitford's,
the
yeah.
thingy. And I went there and I realized once I got there that actually it had been out of theaters for quite a while.
Oh, no.
Just didn't realize the time lapse of the difference there. So what I did was, because I think originally when I saw the Deadpool movie, I saw it in I went to Joondalup and the only session that I could see was like, just an average, shitty, regular thing.
Cattle class.
Yeah, cattle class. It's not good. So I went in, what I did was I bought the better ticket with better sound system. Because I feel like if you're going to go there, you're going to spend $35. Just spend the $50.
Go to Gold Class.
I want to go check out D-Box for it. The motion seats.
Yeah, we should go to D-Box for some as a meme as some shit movie.
I watched D-Box for
like a
the
Cars
Batman.
movie or something.
The latest
D-Box,
Batman.
the
the
newest-
4-hour-long Batman.
It wasn't 4 hours long, but it was like a 2.5 hour movie.
Yeah, okay.
The one with Robert Pattinson.
Yes,
I watched the
yes.
Batman in D-Box. That was cool.
That was a good movie.
The motion seats for all the parts with the Batmobile and the fight scenes.
Oh, that's cool. It's like 4D, right?
Yeah. Because you also have like the speakers. It's a smaller theater, so the speakers feel closer.
Yeah. When they've got the big speakers and the proper sound system, it's pretty
But like you watched the new Deadpool again on the big screen.
So I went in and I was in full ADHD mode. I put my phone on do not disturb. And within 9 fucking minutes, I'd taken about 3 phone calls to come through, and I was ignoring them. So instead of enjoying it, I was stressing out about that. And I went into the snacks area. I hadn't eaten that day, so I got a few snacks. But when I was walking around, I put my phone down on to put a lid on the little snack, like you put like little lollies in like in a cup and then you put the lid on it.
Yeah.
I put my phone down somewhere so because I'm wearing my work clothes, so I didn't have like as many pockets as I needed. So I put my phone down and then I lost my phone. So I'm like spent too much time looking for my phone. And then eventually I find my phone. There's like it's like middle of the day on like a Wednesday or some Tuesday or some shit, right? And the girl's like looking at me and like I've never been to this place either. So I didn't realize you buy your tickets and your food at the same place now. So like I bought my tickets, then went back out into the food bit and then came back and I was like looking around. So I eventually pay you there. Anyway, I get into the cinema and I'm sitting there and I'm waiting for it to start. And then the little cutscene turns on and it's like the ADHD is like the worst superpower I've ever had in my life, right? So I'm sitting there and I instantly think, oh, have I got all my shit in my pocket? Because I'm like, that's what I do constantly, right? So I feel my pockets and what I thought was my car key, which is like a little fob, like a little dongle thing. That was actually my iPad, my iPod's case, which feels very similar shape.
Yeah.
It's very similar shape to my car thing. So I'm searching my pockets and I don't have my car fob. And I'm like, now I've got my phone camera out and I'm like looking under the chair and down the sides of the chairs. And like, I didn't realize that theater's quite old because like there was so much popcorn down the side and like all the chair, like the leather of the chair.
That's the stuff you like if you want to enjoy cinema, you should never think about.
Think about it, yeah.
And like the chairs, all the leather's like really cracked and like really gross. And I'm like looking around and there's not too many people in there because I'm a midday session of a movie that's been out for like 4 weeks, right? So or 3 weeks, whatever. And but there is a couple, you know, like they pick your seating. They're like, oh, do you want to sit, whatever? And then they give you a ticketed seating now.
Yeah.
There's 4 people in this whole movie, me, one other single person, and then a couple. And the couple was directly in the row in front of me. I'm like, and there's hundreds of seats in this thing, man. Hundreds. And I'm like crawling around on the ground with my torch phone on, trying to find things. And everything is so gross and sticky. And I was like, oh. Anyway, I eventually like, it's not there. It's gone. And I'm like, fuck. And I'm like, I'll just sit down. It's not any more lost than when like if I have to go, you know, it's not any more or less lost.
Yeah, it's done.
But I sit there and he starts to dance at the start of the movie and I can't do it. Like I'm stressing my balls out. So I like run and it's like, I don't know if anyone's been to the Whippers one, but it's quite a distance from the theater pit through the front counter. And I go to the girl and I've already lost my phone in there. And I'm like, hey, you haven't had anyone hand a key into you. And she's like, not today. And I was like, I'm going to go try find my key. All right. Anyway, I like run back down into the underground car park. As soon as I get to the car park, I see my lights are on, and I was like, "Oh yes."
You left it in your car.
It's just in the fob section.
Ooh, good thing you didn't watch the movie.
Exactly.
Then.
I was in a flat battery.
And because it's again the middle of the day, I'd parked directly in front of the escalators. So as I'm coming down the escalator, I can see my thing.
Your light.
But that means also
you.
any other human being can see them. Yeah. Anyway, I get into my car, and the fob is just in the starter part of the thing. Anyone could have just literally got my car and driven. So anyway, I collect my fob and then I go back up to the top to watch the movie. And like at this point, if the movie's already started, like I've missed the dancing section of it. And then like the girl as I walk through as well, she's like looks at me and she like puts 2 thumbs up, and I'm like, yes.
No,
I hope in my canon of this story, she just assumes that I've dropped it and someone's handed it into the counter. I hope she doesn't. I hope her thought isn't that I left it in my car like a fucking idiot, right?
Yeah.
Anyway.
In her mind, you just found it somewhere. Yeah.
So anyway, I watched the movie and then I get out of the movie and I've got like, I'm not even kidding, like 26, 27 phone calls. And I was like,
Cool.
not worth it.
Yeah.
Not worth it.
You spent 2 hours for yourself, and it was just like a nightmare.
You still have the 2 hours to deal with.
Yeah. It's like, I'll like just compound the next 2 hours. And I was just like, oh.
I can't do the not think about if I lost the thing. If I lost the thing, everything in my life stops until I find it.
Yeah.
Awful.
Yeah.
I can't do it.
I just have that type of brain. So
Yeah.
But you're trying to organize to go watch the new Aliens movie?
Yeah.
Romulus,
I think so far at the moment, Patreons I've been invited. So it's Callan and Colm, I believe, are coming to watch Aliens on Sunday.
Nice.
Yeah.
Have you watched it yet?
No, I didn't know.
I've heard it's pretty good.
Yeah.
Colm said the same thing. He didn't realize it's a new Alien movie.
It's because I like Alien, right? Who doesn't like
Supposedly,
Alien?
it's one of the better Alien movies.
Okay.
It's a prequel, right?
It's between Alien 1 and Alien 2.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Apparently, it's an inter whatever they call it. I don't know. I'm not.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah. So it's
like
Alien
Star Wars
before
putting
Aliens.
Rogue One, right? In between
exactly.
movies.
Yeah, same sort of thing. So it's after Alien, before Aliens. Cool.
All the Alien movies are written by the same guy, right?
Well, they're directed by Ridley Scott.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Ridley
they're
Scott's good.
potentially written by different people.
I'm assuming there's probably input, but he's like the creative mind.
Because that's what I thought that was the case. And I always thought it was quite funny because people will complain that, like, you know, like Prometheus and stuff like that, that it's too different and it's changing the story. But I was under the impression.
love Prometheus.
Well, me too. But it's like that's one of the biggest complaints the movie got.
yeah.
But I always thought it was weird to complain about that when it's Ridley Scott the whole way through and it's his vision. So like it's not different. It's just not what you like, but it's exactly what he wanted.
Each Alien movie is so tonally different from the rest. You have to approach each Alien movie like it's its own thing.
But you know how it's talking about like those movies where you're like, I want to know more. That was Prometheus.
Yeah.
It was like, who are these guys? What do they do? What's the black goo? What's all this? And what's you know, like it was like this.
I'm like a
really
lore
loved it.
head when it comes to universes, and I thought Prometheus was a more like cool lore of the
was
universe.
very
And I was
right
like,
like that,
ooh.
Can I ruin the movie a tiny bit for you?
For which movie? The Alien movie.
Prometheus.
I've seen.
I mean, we've watched it, so go ahead.
They built the sets and Ridley Scott wanted to make the sets look even bigger than they were. So what they did was they rebuilt the spacesuits for the actors, but children sized, and then they put the suits on children so that the perspective of the sets and the Prometheans were all like basically twice as big as they were before.
Oh, that's cool.
And you can't see it until you hear it.
Yeah.
And then
unsee it.
Then you go and see the kids, and the kids are like kind of waddling around like uncoordinated kids instead of like adults that are walking with purpose. And now when you watch it, you can see the little kids be like, you know, like just
Bobbling
when you're walking in a shop and a kid's like walking in front of you, and you're
toddlers.
like, fucking get out of the way, man. Yeah. And they're like, but I think it was one of the camera director's sons put the suits on, and it's very cool because it's such a good way, you know, for him to build this set twice as big would have costed them millions of dollars, but they effectively doubled the size of the set by just
changing
halving
one
the
thing.
size of the actors effectively, right?
That's cool.
I mean, it came out though because a lot of the scenes were like the spectacle was there, and I think that's what you want with space opera, like space sci-fi is spectacle. Because space is so large and so potential full of like the crazy, scary stuff. That's why 40K works. 40K is all about that giant spectacle. Giant coliseums and huge tomes and giant monsters to fight.
Well, start up to 11. That's the whole point, right?
You guys, you know the have you guys watched the Starties, the fan-made animation for Space Marine? With that final scene where he wakes up on the alien planet.
Yeah.
And he sees giant,
exactly.
just like these cliff faces are like alien creatures.
Yeah, because he touches the sphere and he gets teleported to this like unknown place.
And that's very Prometheus, where it's like a bunch of questions where you don't need the questions answered.
No.
The mystery can be there for you to explore. I think a lot of people approach Prometheus to be like, hey, there's too many answers. We need answers. And you don't necessarily need answers. No. Some stuff need answers. Some stuff can be just a mystery.
And it's the intent of leaving it for you to try and ponder on, right? Like you think, oh wow, what was that for? How did that like? Is that, you know, they leave breadcrumbs so that you build your own kind of idea behind it. It's cool.
As someone who's a fan of like Star Wars and Alien, are probably my two like realistic space things you'd go to. Is Warhammer 40K like the ultimate space thing?
I think it just takes a lot from other places and puts it in one place.
It's very Dune. Yeah, it's got Star Wars.
It's got a bit of Dune, got a bit of Star Wars.
Got
Aliens.
Predator as well.
Like Dune is almost like not a space thing. Like it definitely is, 100% is. But it's almost like a Dune thing. Though.
It's like if you took Game of Thrones and put it cosmic.
Yeah,
pretty much.
Because like most of the outer world stuff could just really be just another like country on the planet.
I think where Dune becomes like space and sci-fi is the way they approach the fantastical, with the whole like how space travel works.
Yeah, folding space, and that there is a sci-fi aspect to it,
and I love that because I think I grew up with that. Like, I guess I want to say early 2000s, where a lot of sci-fi, especially in the comic books, were like hard influenced by like H.R. Geiger. Like H.R. Geiger Aliens really influenced that, and I love that like biomechanical, like the way you know that sci-fi I'm talking about, where
the pulp
analogy with a bit of like super high tech, the body horror type H.R. Geiger stuff.
That's very 40K.
Have you watched that Ridley Scott TV show where the children are being raised on a outer planet by not drones but
I didn't know it was Ridley Scott.
Yeah,
I know the one you're talking about.
I haven't seen
it
because I think at the time when it came out it was hard to watch in Australia, but maybe it's on Amazon or something.
It was like two children being raised by a robot.
Yeah, Raised by Wolves, I think it was called. Is that it?
It was a weird show that went past and only had one season.
It's not a drone or a cyborg. What is it called? Like a AI thing?
Cyborg
Maybe a cyborg.
is. Oh
no,
no, cyborg
half
requires.
person.
Yeah, it's just a robot.
Yeah,
right.
But yeah, it's like children being raised on another planet by what effectively is a artificial intelligence, essentially.
Oh, right. Okay. I've never heard of it.
And apparently it's quite good. But now I should go back and try and find it again because when it first came out, I was like pretty keen, but it was like hard locked out of
I like my good
the
sci-fi.
US essentially.
And the new one looks good. I've been meaning to go, but I just haven't found the time.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, sci-fi's.
You can come and hang out with Coleman, Cullen, and I on Sunday.
Oh, not on Sunday. Not with gout. So,
No Gout Sunday.
no gout Sunday.
No cats Sunday.
Yeah. You got a favorite alien movie?
I like Prometheus. It was actually one of the first things I went to see with my wife.
Ooh, so you
actually.
started with. Oh, so she started with
Yeah, so I was like, but I'd seen, I think, Alien, the original Alien.
Alien. Yeah.
The first
Where it's
Alien.
that like horror of you and a creature trapped in.
Yeah,
a-
exactly. You have no idea what's going on. It's funny because my parents saw it in the movies and my mom hated it. Like she absolutely hated it. I think she walked out of the film because it was
Really?
it was not her scene. I think my
Yeah,
dad
but it's
enjoyed
pretty
it.
spooky at times.
I think my dad said it. He's like, "I'll see you later." Dude. Like,
I've
but
watched
yeah.
a bunch of like movies like that with Lucas on the TV and things because like at the time Alien was quite provocative and scary.
Yeah, it is.
But watching it like at home with the lights on and your TV on TV, it's a much different experience. And
Absolutely, yeah.
it wasn't. He didn't find that like scary at all because he was quite young when we were watching it. Yeah.
For me, in a theater, I'm not scared at all. But if I'm watching it by myself, that's when it gets a
Dark
little
at
spooky.
night.
Little
Yeah,
spooks.
yeah.
Yeah.
But I think my favorite out of that, like I like Predator. Predator was my
Yeah,
favorite
yeah.
growing up. It was like my
Yeah.
number one. Predator.
Yeah.
Predator 2.
I'm a big Arnie
So
head,
good.
so I love
Yeah.
I love my Arnold movies.
Which Predator's the one where they're in the jungle?
Predator 1,
So
the first one.
I when I was a very small child, I've mentioned it a few times actually. The neighbors at my nan's house, because my nan effectively like raised me while my parents worked, right? So we'd live at my nan's, and I'd go over to the people next door, and they had 3 kids who were older than me, 3 boys, and they were the ones who like handed me the Legos and the Street Sharks and all these like these
Nice,
things, right?
dude.
And one night, when I'd go there, we would do like more kid stuff with them because the boys were quite good to me, really. But this night they had other friends over, so they were watching shows they already watched. And we watched the Predator in the Jungle, which is obviously Predator 1.
the first one, yeah.
And The Matrix.
Oh,
and,
yeah.
And I was probably like 6 or 7 years old. And it scared the living fuck out of me.
Which one, Predator or Matrix?
I think the Predator mostly, and the only thing I remember from The Matrix is the start where the pipes come out of him.
Yeah.
And it was very visceral. And as a
Yes.
kid,
Well,
I
there's
couldn't...
also the thing, the bug creature that goes in his
yeah.
Yeah,
And he
that's-
wakes up, he's like,
Yeah,
Yeah,
and I think that was like stained into the back of my
Yeah,
memory,
yeah.
and I was like a bit of a fucking pussy child. Like I remember,
I think every kid is.
like no, I'd like to think of myself as quite manly, but at the time I was definitely not.
I'm a manly guy.
Do you guys remember the Texas Chainsaw Massacre?
Yeah, I
The
never saw it.
OG one.
So there was a TV advert. And I got nightmares from the TV advert, and it
fair
must
enough.
have been fine enough for them to put on TV, but it was like
You must have, like me and you, like feel like we had a similar experience because Texas Chainsaw Massacre really like freaked me as a kid as well.
Yeah, it was the advert. He was running through the washing line and the clothing, and he had the mask, and it gave me hard nightmares for
It's
fucking
the
a while.
it's the more realistic,
The realistic
element to it.
stuff, yeah,
Because they
yeah,
kept
yeah.
framing Texas Chainsaw Massacre as being like based on a true tale.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh my god, that's so scary.
Wait, so it wasn't? I've never really thought about it.
no
since.
idea.
I think it's like loosely.
It's probably
There's,
inspired
like,
by, I guess. Yeah. Well, like there's a lot of like, tall tales and stuff, right?
Yeah.
Surely, like, have you heard about, this cult that existed? There's all that like creepypasta stuff.
I
that goes around.
my introduction to the Alien versus Predator, that whole thing was from Alien versus Predator.
Oh,
Really?
Yeah,
okay.
so
You know, they're not canons,
It's
They're
not
not
canon.
canon,
Oh,
yeah.
naturally they wouldn't be. I can see where the lore could be really cool. If
but they
match
are really
up.
fun.
It's
Yeah.
really
Yeah.
fun.
I
But
had them
That's
all
a
on
cool
Blu-ray
idea.
and stuff like that. It was like a very fun movie.
as a kid, so I watched, and Alien vs Predator was an M-rated movie, so it was actually like semi for kids. Like they didn't.
It wasn't that extreme.
It wasn't
Yeah.
very extreme, right? So I remember watching Alien vs Predator as a kid and be like, these are really cool. And then I actually watched Alien, and I was like, oh, this is not
not quite the
not so
same.
action
You got
packed
baited
as
in.
I thought.
Same, yeah.
So for me, Aliens, the second one, it was like kind of my fan favorite.
I think that's the best one. Like, I guess in
for me,
quotes.
it touches more of that like actiony, like
It's very
It feels more like Predator.
Yeah.
Because
I like the
I'm a
snow
big
one where they go under the
That's Alien vs Predator.
yeah.
Where
That's
they
the
go to
Antarctica
the pyramid under the ice.
Because they effectively stole that whole plot
cigarette,
line
I
from
should
the
say.
thing, right?
Yeah, basically. But I mean, it's
John Carpenter's The Thing is also a great movie, but
Yeah.
it's different. Have you watched it?
I don't
Great
know.
movie. Go check out John Carpenter's.
I read the book.
It's real good.
The Alien vs Predator touches on the whole ancient alien stuff, right?
Yeah,
like that. That's
yeah.
and that like every bro has
That's
that,
the
has
Joe
that
Rogan
part of
like,
it. That's right. Yeah.
oh, they're pyramids in Antarctica.
The pyramids were actually created by people with artificial gravity and sonic waves. Like all that sort of stuff. Like it like scratches a part of your brain, right? And you're like,
Well,
oh,
yeah,
it's so interesting.
It's like there's theoretically like a deep lore, like a super deep lore behind it.
Yeah. So because that was the idea. It was like they had this like ancient civilization, and humans were bred as like whatever they were cattle for the aliens to be incubated in. And eaten and stuff.
Correct. There was like a whole worship thing, right?
Yeah,
It was like the Mayan thing or something.
Correct. Yeah. So it was all that for the predators, and they came back and hunted people.
Yeah.
How many of the like Alien vs Predators have you seen?
All of them.
All of them? Are you a fan of all of them?
There was only,
Fan is
there
a
was,
strong
there was
word.
only 2, right? There was the one that we watched
Nah,
as a
there's
kid.
quite a few.
I think it's 3.
Yeah.
The one
Because there's the one where in the town, like the
Yeah.
average American
I
town, where the
remember-
budget was much
I
lower.
remember
one
being
that's-
super annoyed with that movie because it ends with them just being nuked.
Yes,
They were just
yeah.
like,
But
the movie's
that's-
done, nuke.
But there's the one with the Native Americans.
That's the new one, right?
That's the new one. That one's good.
I heard it's good. I
Oh,
need
that
to
one
watch
is
it.
I didn't
really
even know
good.
there was a new one.
But that
It's-
one's just a Predator movie.
It's a Predator movie,
Oh, okay.
but it's really good. Like I really enjoyed it. It was
It's like this
an
whole like
alternate take.
warrior culture, Native American
Yeah.
culture, like mirroring that Predator warrior culture.
True.
It's worth checking out.
Mm.
Yeah, but the Predator's just cool, man. And the Predator one when they're in New York, I think it's Predator 2.
Predators are always
So
cooler than Alien,
I think so.
but that's because they have the cool gadgets.
They got
and
the
they look
gadget, and the
cool.
shoulder cannon, and
Yeah,
like
yeah,
little
yeah, yeah.
I remember
3
from like
dots.
it's
so cool.
From like Predator 1, they do that like heat ray fucking vision thing.
Yeah.
And it's
You guys ever play the game?
so good on
Yes.
the budget for graphics.
Dude,
There was
played
some. There was
so
there was
much.
some legitimately
Alien
good.
vs Predator was an amazing game.
There's some good.
I've actually never.
legitimately
No,
good.
I've never played one.
So, I played a lot of the. This is actually before my time. I used to play with my mates on emulator. The Alien vs Predator arcade game.
Oh, I never played that.
It's actually a really cool arcade game. It's a whole separate universe. It's based on the comic books. So I played a bunch of that. But also, there's a bunch of multiplayer
Yes.
Alien vs
I played
Predator
that.
games. Think of it like Counter-Strike days.
Yeah.
Type video game.
Really?
It's an FPS.
Yeah, it's really cool.
And you can be the different aliens, you can be the different
and a
predators.
marine. So it's 3
Yeah.
factions: Marines, aliens, and predators, and they all have different dynamics on how you fight each other.
And there's different aliens and different predators. There's like the buff alien and like the
Correct.
skinny
The
alien.
alien, you start off as a face hugger and you
Yeah, you
go
have to
become a
go,
chest
oh,
burster, and
yeah,
eventually you grow up, become
It's
a big
really
alien.
good.
That's
It's
cool.
really,
and then
really
the
cool.
predator, like there's only like I think there's only like the map only allows like up to 3 predators or 2 predators. There's way less predators, but they're super equipped. And the marines, there's a ton of them everywhere, and they're trying to do their thing.
I feel like we should play Alien vs Predator.
It's super cool.
We should.
I think it
as
might be
a
abandonware.
multiplayer. Yeah, it probably is.
It's probably abandonware. You probably
I've
have
got
to
the
pick it up
original
somewhere.
disc at my parents' house, I think.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I played a lot of it as a kid. Yeah, it's really cool.
I love asymmetric multiplayer. So like the idea of being an alien stalking people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That vibe with that.
There's like
very
that. I never played it, but it was quite popular. Like the horror movie games where you like play like Jason Voorhees, you're trying to hunt the people
Yeah,
down.
yeah.
That concept is very cool.
Yeah. Well, this had that horror jump scare part to it because there was a story line as well, right? There was a campaign.
You guys got a favorite like slasher horror guy?
Slasher horror guy.
Yeah, like like you got
I'm
Jason.
a bit of a
Freddy.
wuss. I don't really like horror movies.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I'm the same. I'm the same.
They scare me.
Slasher horror is a little different. though. It's a little
scary.
different.
When I was like 15, 16, I said so that we at the back of our block, right? We had our house was too small and povo to like fit me and my brother in it. So my parents built like a really dodgy like granny flat at the back for us to live in. And when it was windy, the ceiling would lift up and you could see outside. So it wasn't built very well at all. But that's where that became mine and my brother's bedroom. And it was maybe like we lived in Queens, so in a pretty decent block, right? But the block size was quite good. But the granny flat was at the back of the block and the house was at the front of the block. So if we needed to pee in the middle of the night, we had to run under some like I say trees, but they were like kind of like bush trees. As a kid, they felt like trees, but as an adult, like you can see
Looking
over the
back,
top
it
of
was.
But like if it was like nighttime and you had to leave the safety of your locked like cabin to get to the back house where the front of the house where the toilet was, and sometimes you're like tomorrow's job.
But that's normal. I think
I'll
as
risk it.
Yeah.
the kids, you got that imagination, right? So you see it like a
you're,
hallway
you're
that's
creating
dark.
way more stuff, right?
yeah.
Or if it was just raining and you're like, I don't want to get wet. It was like a friend of mine that you may or may not know, and 2 girls came to the house and we were going to watch movies and kiss each other. And the girls really wanted to watch like fucking Hostel or something like that.
Nah.
And so we put it on because I didn't want to be a pussy in front of people, especially at that age. And everyone was trying to like make out with each other, like, you know, separately. It wasn't a weird 15-year-old orgy, but I was trying to make out with each other. But I was
Just to be clear.
Just to be- Just for the listeners.
But I was way too freaked out about the stuff that's going on the screen, and like honestly completely turned off by like the amount of blood and gore and grossness. And the like girls were like, I was like, they were into that, but they were into what was going on. And I was just like not having a bar.
I was
Danny's like in the corner, like rocking to himself.
I can't do necessarily like horror movies,
Yeah.
like movies like Hostel or like like even like stuff like
it's like
Friday.
gore porn essentially. Like.
Yeah, or
Yeah,
even
that's
like
a little bit.
like Friday the 13th. Oh, not Friday the 13th. Even like The Exorcist or like movies that are designed to actually be like
Psychological horrors.
horror.
Yeah,
that
yeah.
that creeps me out, gives me the heebie-jeebies. But like slasher flicks, like Nightmare on Elm Street.
Yeah,
Friday the
I mean, they're
13th,
not- that's-
that's still entertaining for me.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
watching like Freddy Krueger do all the crazy stuff in his nightmare realm is still like, oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
I know, we definitely talked about this before, but it's like it's the line between like whether you could fight the guy or not fight the guy.
Yeah.
Like, would you, if you were with an actual human brain, could you survive that situation?
I would no,
Probs not.
definitely. Freddy is OP.
Yeah.
Yeah, Jason is also OP.
Like Freddy rocks up at the door right now. We good, right?
We're screwed.
I'm quite a fast runner. I think you two guys are fast. Especially Kang with his foot.
Oh, 100%.
Oh, yeah.
Kang's it. Kang's
Because
dead meat.
if you see Freddy, that means you're already in Freddy's realm. That means you've fallen asleep somewhere. You're screwed.
Oh,
In
is
his
that,
realm.
is that the thing? Or he's like, you're in like a dream realm, are you?
He invades your dream.
Oh, that Rick and Morty episode
So
makes
he's
way more
God.
sense now.
Yeah. So he's god of his own realm.
Yep.
He can do whatever he wants with you.
Interesting.
It's one of those trippy kind of like, because as you say, like, can you fight him? It's like, yeah, you can fight, whoever's coming at you.
We throw wooden chairs at him till he leaves.
Yeah.
Nah, because you're in his realm. So he just manipulate, like he's god of this realm. So the chairs disappear from your hands, become snakes. You're screwed.
Snake hands.
Yeah.
Snake hands.
So and then Jason's the same kind of deal where like he gets shot with a shotgun and keeps walking forward. He's the Terminator.
Yeah.
He just keeps slow walking you until you finally give up and die.
We'll feed him red meat until he gets gout and it hurts to walk.
Yeah, exactly. The long game.
I'm pretty, if he's undead, I'm pretty sure he already has gout.
True. Just ultimate gout.
He just powers through
He's
it.
just really
he's-
mad.
So his like Achilles heel would be like vegetables then.
Yeah.
We'll just keep throwing too many blueberries.
Yeah.
He was up and he's like,
befriend-
oh,
the
I
antioxidants.
actually feel quite better now.
You befriend him, you're like, Jason, I know what you're going through, bro.
That's why he's so mad. He's
Give
just
some
got
broccoli.
full of gout.
Yeah, he's got and no friends. It's like, I accept you. And he's like, oh my God, thank you.
You give him a hug.
We work
Yeah,
at work at a hobby store. People coming in with no friends is a.
But you ever, but you know this reminds
That's
me
our
a
bread
lot
and
of
butter.
this
Got
reminds
us. I've trained my whole life for this moment.
this reminds me a lot of the conversations we used to have as kids, where it's like, wait, if Freddy and Jason got in a fight, who would win? And then they made movies of it.
Yeah.
Right? They made movies of
Well,
whole
because
Freddy
the
versus
people who had those conversations just grew up,
Yeah.
and some of them made lots of money.
It's the same thing as like
True.
yo, if Godzilla and King Kong had a fight,
Oh, dude, I love that movie.
who would
the latest movie?
Who would win?
I really enjoyed it.
You know what I
It's
love
so
about
stupid.
the Godzilla vs King Kong movies? They started off with like a fairly like tone, like they actually had a real premise going for it, and then they threw it out the window, and now it's just big things
Oh,
fighting
I
big
love
things.
it. I fucking it's so the latest one. But my favorite part of all those movies is the complete inconsistency in the scale.
Yeah.
Right. Sometimes he's like 1,000,000 feet tall, and sometimes he's a little baby.
Oh really?
Yeah. So like, have you seen the
I
latest
haven't
one?
seen enough of them. I don't think.
It's like
it's worth
when
watching.
artists have to draw like the Incredible Hulk, and they
Yeah.
can't decide on how big he should be.
Is he 8 foot or is he 6 foot or is he 12 foot? Yeah.
I saw the one where Ron Perlman was like the like dealer guy, and that one was pretty good.
Oh, the Pacific Rim.
Oh, okay, I saw
The
Pacific
Pacific Rim?
I saw Pacific
Yeah,
Rim.
no, I know exactly what you mean. Pacific Rim.
Okay, so not
Oh yes, yeah,
Pacific
yeah.
Rim was cool though. It was just like you watch big giant robots fight giant
Dude.
monsters. Kind of.
And the
I didn't realize
soundtrack.
two different things.
Oh,
Yeah. But also the way
soundtrack.
they designed the suits, where it's like you can hear and
Yeah,
feel
yeah,
the mechanical
It was
movements.
very
that was satisfying.
and Idris Elba obviously.
Yeah,
They wanted to turn a massive franchise out of that, but didn't really stick.
Well, the first one was excellent. Everyone loves it. The
Absolutely,
second
yeah.
one was less good.
Have not watched it.
Wasn't
Don't
there a
even know.
Pacific Rim tabletop game that was brought out?
Yeah, well,
that could be.
like I said, they wanted to do a full franchise of it.
I guess the thing
They
is
had
like,
planned like video games,
I mean,
TV shows.
Is it? I guess the problem is it unique enough? I guess maybe because it's like it's like Gundam
Yeah.
versus
Yeah, I guess were they
aliens.
banking on the Asian market? They're like super into the mechs.
Yeah, and it was.
Is there any other big mech shows out there?
There's a
Gundam?
few. Like Gundam is massive in the
Is that
anime.
a show?
Yeah,
Yeah,
the anime.
The anime Gundam
Oh,
still goes.
I guess I'm talking about maybe like movie franchises
movies.
then.
And one of the
Sorry.
most influential animes of all time is Neon Genesis Evangelion, and that's just a mech movie.
Do you think then like the primary market of those people would prefer to consume it in like an anime style rather than a big blockbuster
I
movie?
think so. I think it's
Yeah,
more
it feels like
palatable for the people that are used to it.
Are we over the blockbuster like thing now? Is it done?
I think
I
we're going
feel
to
like
get
it is.
less and less massive spectacle blockbusters that aren't Marvel.
But even Marvel, I feel like the last. I still haven't seen the new Deadpool, by the way. But the last movie I watched, which was excellent, like that was like the Endgame Avengers. Like that was like the pinnacle, and I feel like it's just sort of,
A little droppy.
It's
definitely been bad up until Deadpool Wolverine. Deadpool was actually excellent. Seeing it twice, I was it was just as good, if not better, because now I understood some of more of the background bits as well, and I'd done a little bit more. Like I wasn't a big. I liked all the Marvel stuff, but I've never touched any of the X-Men stuff ever before. So I've never watched any of those movies. I never watched any of those comics. Like,
they were good.
At some point, you just have to like pick a line in the sand of like, what do I have time to consume? So I'd kind of cornered that off, and I didn't realize Wolverine was like as cool as he actually is.
spoilers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I did the name.
Stop it!
If you like, if you like your,
That's also you telling us that you haven't listened to our previous podcast.
I haven't. I said
previous-
it.
that's the previous
It's a spoiler
podcast.
because we have spoilers in that one.
Oh, true.
Yeah.
We give them the option to get out.
Yeah, anyway.
I reckon you'll like it, John.
Yeah. I'm keen to watch it.
It's fun vibes.
Yeah. I like that sort of stuff, but I just feel like
It doesn't take itself too seriously.
Yeah, which is good.
Well, have you guys seen that Borderlands movie?
No,
I've heard it's bad, bro.
Apparently, it's literally enough that it could shut down the producing studio.
yeah, right.
not-
That much of a flop.
Yeah, because there's like tax write-off flop, and then there's like this level of
There's like
it looks like the movie had high production budget
well, it's
CG.
pretty big
super
actors, wasn't it?
high. Yeah, I think it cost around the 130 million, and so far it's only taken back in 10.
Oh man,
Yeah.
But like, it's such a big gamble making
video game
movies, video game TV shows. Because like Halo obviously didn't hit the mark with
So sad about
the
that.
Halo
I think
people.
I think the problem with all these movies or TV shows based off of existing franchise, you can't get creative. You can't. There's no room for creativity. You just stick to whatever it
Well, that's
exists.
the Henry Cavill kind of
Because
predicament, right?
then at least you're gonna get your cash in hard on like the diehard fans.
Yeah, well, I think this is if it's popular because it's like that.
Yeah.
It's not popular because it's like something
But
different.
for me, it's like I have a passing interest in Borderlands. Like I've played the games and actually like the games, but like for me, the story was never the strong suit.
It was never the point of Borderlands.
Never really
it was meant to be like a.
not a big point of
Nah,
it.
I
No.
mean, maybe
So
not,
then I saw, and it was like the characters they had, and it was like they had Kevin Hart as Roland, and Roland's this like stoic soldier man character, and then they have the funny man character come in. And I was like, well, this is already them not figuring out
Yeah.
what people are in it for.
But I mean, I don't know. Surely it's in my mind, it's easier to just take the source material and reproduce it than it is to try and rewrite it.
Yeah.
So why don't they just do that?
Why did they do that? Yeah.
Yeah. It's like I don't know.
Yeah,
I might still check it out because I do like my Kevin Hart does funny man things movies.
Yeah, but you're gonna
he's
check it out
incredible.
like on Netflix.
yeah, on
Like
Netflix,
some
correct.
point later.
When it goes directed.
A big part, a massive part, and this is why they explain why like movies aren't the same as what they were even in the 2010s. DVD sales was nearly 50%
was a
of
big
how you
part
made
of
your
it.
money.
Yeah,
So it's like literally 50% of how you made your money. So you would do your casting and your advertising, you spend X amount of money, you produce the movie, it comes out, you make your money, and then 6 months later you make a
whole bunch more.
Exactly, pretty much almost exactly the same amount of money the next thing. So even if your movie's a big flop, you always made your money back on DVD sales because like countries like Australia would have like somewhere like JB Hi-Fi, and they would buy fuckloads of the movies no matter what, and it's like they would just go into circulation, and it means that even if the movie wasn't that good, it would still bleed its way through. But that money that you get from like streaming services to these movie companies is less than 5% of what the DVD sales market was. So now that I think it was Matt Damon actually that was on an
I was
interview.
listening to this as well. Yeah.
And he was explaining it's like you could really like do like the romantic comedy movie and like the buddy movie and
The fun once off $20 million, $10 million, whatever it was.
It's that you don't get. There's no room anymore for like a 6 out of 10 movie. There's no room anymore for like the not great movie, but like people might still buy a DVD and watch it. Like for example,
movies.
B grade movies. There's no room anymore because you can't put it at the cinema because no one's going to spend money to go watch it. Like you can't have Liam Neeson Taken. No one's going to go watch it.
Yeah,
that's like a proper like 6 out of 10
and the
movie.
thing that's missing is the cult movies then. Because a lot of the like
100%.
your favorite movie or my favorite movie is like Eurotrip.
Yeah.
Dog
Yeah,
shit
yeah,
movie,
yeah,
right? Terrible.
super like
Loved it.
indulgent to watch.
Exactly. Like even like Starship Troopers, all sorts of stuff.
I was thinking the same thing about like what the classic like Adam Sandler movies is. Obviously, he can manage to pull it off, but all the people that are around that, and Eurotrip's a great example.
Little Nicky?
Like, Little Nicky, or like the White Castle movies and stuff like that.
Harold Kumar.
Yeah,
Oh,
and it's like
dude.
so many
good.
of those like I don't even think American Pie. I don't think that would survive, even if it was like woke up to be available to be accessible now.
It still wouldn't.
I still don't think it would make the money back now.
Dude, 14-year-old me renting out Harold and Kumar.
Go to White Castle.
Yeah, it's just like
So
any like all
good.
Guantanamo Bay,
Guantanamo
and not
Bay.
realizing how much like nudity was in that movie.
Pretty good.
Whenever my mom would walk past me, I'd be like,
Like,
yeah.
like something for me was like a big one was like Dodgeball.
Oh, I love Dodgeball.
I don't think Dodgeball gets greenlit today.
so good.
Like, does Ben Stiller even exist? He only did shit movies.
What, Zoolander?
Like, Anchorman. Anchorman's like where my fucking nickname comes from. It's like that thing wouldn't have existed in today's money.
Yeah.
Like, it's just it couldn't make it so
After
fat.
Night at the Museum, what else did Ben Stiller do?
He didn't have to do anything else.
He was like,
Yeah, I think
banking on
he's
that.
done.
I think he made more at that time. I think Night at the Museum made more money than like half the countries in the
Oh,
world.
dude, how good is that? How good is that movie though? Let's be honest.
Great
so
movie.
good.
We're talking about like ancient relics in history.
Oh,
Night at the
Coming
Museum.
Alive. Yeah. And Robin Williams as Teddy Roosevelt.
So good.
So good.
So good.
But yeah, I mean, like, there's definitely a big chunk of like your childhood movie watching which does not exist.
Yeah.
But I think
100%.
For like kids now, or like even preteens, it's just Disney stuff, right?
I remember reading a thing where apparently because movies cost so much money and movies don't make as much money and like consistently as much as they used to, studios won't take the risk on something that isn't already an existing franchise. Apparently, like you just cannot get your movie greenlit if it's not already an existing franchise. That's why a studio will take the risk for doing a Borderlands movie rather than something else.
Yeah.
Because at least Borderlands has that namesake attached.
You get
to it.
that like risk assessment culture, right? Where they're like,
Yeah.
oh, we'll sit in a room and see what is the consequence if this goes and what are the likelihoods of it failing, blah, blah, which is not really shouldn't really be the approach, right? It should just be like, this is a good pitch. This movie's
It
cool.
is always funny though. Even you've had that risk assessment thing where it's like completely tone deaf to like what the audience may or may not want, and then they release it and they're like surprised when it doesn't work out.
Oh my God. How did
It's
no one like this?
And how does like something like, $60 million get spent on a movie? And it's not till it releases where people are like, of course no one's going to like it.
Yeah.
How does that not get told to someone halfway through that
because
production?
they live in like obviously like like the echo chambers
yes
or whatever,
man
where it's like
situation.
But also,
exactly.
if you're a regular person working there, you tell your higher up this is a workout. It's like, I'm higher than you.
yeah, true.
There's got to be that cultural issue,
In
right?
the video game world, this happens all the time recently, where you'll have like a big name studio trying to come out with a thing, and it just completely flops. Recently, like recently, we've had a lot of like video game flops. A big one is like Rocksteady is a studio that's known for making the Batman Arkham series, like a real like well-received series of Batman games, known for their like single-player, well-told stories and like fun, engaging like combat. And then Rocksteady recently came out with a Suicide Squad game, where it's like a big departure from what they used to do. Instead of it being a single-player game, it's a multiplayer game, 4-person. Instead of melee, like punchy, it's like shooting guns, like Suicide Squad. It does that whole live-action thing of being like you log in and you play, you earn rewards, you keep going, battle pass. And not only that, like it's just already all that is completely tone deaf to what their audience wanted, right?
Yeah.
It wasn't doing great. And then they do this whole thing where like the writers wrote the story in a way where like they kill off Batman, they kill off all these fan favorite characters. And it's like,
why?
And then it's like surprised face when like fans don't receive what they
like, oh, you guys wanted your existence that just revolves around Batman. You're going to kill him off? It makes perfect sense.
In my mind, all they have to do, like if you're a studio, leak your idea to Reddit. All you have to do,
just see what the
leak
response
it,
is.
leak
Just
it to Reddit,
and see if they say yes
and
or
just
no.
be like, oh guys, I've just picked this up. So this is just sent to me by accident. Oh, what do you guys think of this
Yeah.
idea? We've got this premise and this thing, and people will be like, oh my God, that sounds amazing. They should do this. And all the execs have to do is go log in, copy, Control-C, Control-V, and make the
that's
movie that they want to watch.
It sounds like the death of
Surely, right?
originality, but like there are certain things where like the originality can exist in you also pandering for like what people want.
Yeah.
If people want that, just like,
But
if I want this, give it to me.
Yeah, but I guess the whole thing is like, did people want a Little Nicky movie? Not necessarily.
Yeah, until 100%.
But also, as you said before, there was not a studio that didn't hinge its entire life savings on
Yeah.
on
Not
Little
anymore.
Nicky.
Well, that was the big part of it.
Yeah.
Like you could produce literally the I think with the Matt Damon stuff, you produce 20 movies and 4 of them can be a success enough to make up the rest of them.
Correct, yeah.
So it's like you could really like shotgun out a bunch of ideas, and then and even the ones that are bad are going to get picked up by daytime TV and DVD.
Yeah,
sales.
that will get made.
So you always make your money back, and then the big ones like Anchorman will push its way through. No one expected Anchorman to be good.
No,
they just produced like a fucking
Step
like
Brothers?
a cultural touchstone. Yeah.
Well, what I'm hoping for is that in a similar way in the video game scene, where you have like the big name publishers doing like hundreds of $1 million video game productions, you have like indie studios.
Yeah.
Like these little guys in their own room making cool video games, put it up and make money, right? Same thing in the movie world. We have like smaller publication studios starting to eke their way. So I'm hoping that the scale eventually balances out. We'll see where it happens. But
yeah, because I mean, you watch. I was watching this really interesting video. If you want to watch it, is about how they made Age of Empires.
oh, nice.
And they go through the like the people who made it, like that was their life.
Yeah.
Like they were playing the game all the time, play testing it constantly, improving it constantly, constantly revising.
It reminds me a lot of like
it.
when same vein of like how they made Age of Empires. Have you guys seen videos on how they made the original Doom?
No.
Because like the original Doom is like a real small team of people where you have like I can't remember this. John Romero was like the creative lead, where like he was just real passionate about like metal music and he loves his thing. The composer was this like the dude who had made music in his own spare time. And then you had John Carmack, who was the lead programmer, and like he's this like classic 90s nerd, which is like really, really, really good at programming. He was just a wizard of knowing how to make the game work.
He's like the movie version of a coder, where he's like, "Let me jump on."
the hacker man.
But that was what video games used to be, where it was like a bunch of people and like we were real passionate and driven,
Like a crew who
making
cared.
the thing they wanted to. In the same way that back in the day, movies were like a little bit more of that real small crew of people really passionate about their idea, going out and seeing what happens. And now because everything has to be so much more larger, the water's gotten so much more larger. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
And then now you can't take that risk anymore because your budget needs to be bigger.
Yeah,
the movie needs to be bigger.
It's funny you talk about like the people coming back. It's like because for World of Warcraft, Chris Metzen and another guy, one of the original writers, have come back on, and they've basically been reinstated for a trilogy of expansions coming out for the game. And I'm not sure if them like being really hard line on this trilogy, and these are the original guys, if like that's the last ditch effort for it to
let's
thing.
try and bring it back.
Because it's like it's still a game that is making like millions of dollars, but it's just not making the billions of dollars that it did at some point before. Like it's still one of the biggest played RPGs out there, but it's like it's not the heyday of what it was. So to invest in stuff like that, it's like, why can't it be this, right? So they're having this reinstatement of to like the really core like story writers and from their original things. But it's funny like because I jumping back on and just playing it for like 10 minutes at a time and like going through it, like the game's in an exceptional spot where it's super fun, everything's streamlined, it's quite clean. It's one of the least buggy games that's ever existed for something that's as big as it is. Like it's really great to play, but I think the average player, including myself, can't play for too much longer because you've had like 10 years of burnout on this one thing, And it's like to get hooked back into it. I'm not sure if it's ever going to have that same people there, but to get the original writers on and like try and bring some of those people back in seems like a nice push. If it was a brand new game that I played today, I'd be like, fuck, this is a
Do you
polished
reckon it's
game.
more of them just giving the fans what they want? Like it's a sign of them being like, hey, we know the fans like this content from the past. We're going to bring more of what it's like.
Yeah, what I'm hoping is like instead of having like a CEO that comes on and a CEO from a money standpoint of view tells everybody what they think is the right thing to do, you go back to the original writers and be like, let's try and recapture the glory of what it was to start with.
I mean, that's the same as I guess somewhat in Magic as well, right? Where they went through that period quite recently where they made a lot of poor products.
Yeah.
And kind of divested, I guess, from the diverged from what you should, I guess, what the players wanted and what the collectors wanted and stuff.
Warhammer definitely went through the same thing where in the mid 2000s they had the CEO came in and was like, we're not a hobby shop, we're a
hobby shop.
Yeah, we're like
not a rules writing shop.
Yeah, we're a miniature
company,
a hobby thing, and not a game shop.
Correct.
That's what it was.
That's right,
and it was like, if people play, it's almost like the Homer Simpson thing where it's like, Bart spins his arms. He's like, oh, if you get hit by my if you get hit, it's your own fault. His like whole thing was like, if you play games with these miniatures, that's your problem. Like, it's like, what are you talking about?
We will write rules, but that's it.
Yeah,
we won't give you any FAQs. We won't give you any updates. So it's funny when people complain about 40K or fantasy now, and it's like, oh, you get a regular update. You got no FAQs. In the old days, it was like they wrote a book and that was your book for 5 years.
Yeah, sometimes I was a little like in some of the fantasy, it would be 7th edition books. There was just flat up like incorrect things printed in it, which fucked the rule up or fucked the entire unit up, and they were just like,
But
And you're just like, okay.
people were okay with things being unbalanced because it was a smaller community of people that was also just less competitive.
Well,
The competitive nature of the game requires nature of the game is less competitive, then it's not a big deal if some things are stronger than others. You know?
I was watching a video on YouTube about it was a guy talking about it, and he was saying how people don't complain about 40k being imbalanced anymore because it's become such a competitive game.
Yeah.
And I was like, it's probably true, but it's maybe not a good thing. I thought it was like it was kind of like, I don't know. It feels like some of that like magic is lost when everyone's just obsessed about trying to get that 50% balance.
Just let everything be broken.
Well, like, imagine, I was thinking to myself about this. Imagine if they came out with a magic set and they needed to balance every color in the set. And then they had to balance every rare in the set. And every mythic in the set. And every combination. And I'm like, it's impossible.
Yeah.
It's impossible. You print the cards which you think will work
It's also
well.
the death
That's
of
it.
creativity.
I think so, yeah.
I think that's it. When we see pockets of people playing games in the store, and it's instead of being the guys who hit the tournaments every week or whatever, or every month, and this is not a dig at those people that do that, but the people that don't do that and play in their own communities and they have some of their own like kind of like sidelined rules where like you're like, especially this happens a lot in 30k because in 30k, basically all the allied armies are significantly better than the heresy are. Like the
loyalists.
The loyalists are significantly better.
Yeah,
and it's like, so the guys who are playing that regularly with their own group of friends are balancing themselves out with some like home rules and stuff like that to make that a bit better. And those guys are having way more fun than the guys go to like a competitive 30k tournament and you see some of the lists in America and it's like, what? Like there's a list of like 10 people and they're all playing Imperial Fist.
It's just toxic.
Like, that's fun.
Yeah, it's just toxic.
And like, we have a group of guys who come here every couple Sundays and they just play with themselves and they do their own thing. They basically only do self-funded like narrative campaigns the whole way through. And those guys are like, they've played for a decade and they're all still the same group. No one's had any arguments. Like they always enjoy their thing. They're always excited to come and do their thing. And it's like, that's where the longevity of these hobbies come from. It's like these like, I'm not saying you have to go full into the narrative, but just like be there to enjoy it rather than just like stomp other people into the ground.
Yeah,
I think.
but the thing is, like, I've two theories in that one, right? My John's view is like it's like in Magic.
This is the segment, Johnny Coin's opinions.
Johnny Coins opinions. A penny for your thoughts, Danny.
Oh, good line.
But basically, like, there's a competitive version and there's a non-competitive version, and you shouldn't mix the two.
Yeah,
So, like, Magic, I was playing like 7-point Highlander tonight versus Kang, versus Tom, and it was competitive. It's competitive Magic. There's space for creativity and stuff, but it's competitive format.
Yeah,
you know what you're signing up for. I'm going to kill you turn 4. You're going to kill me turn 5. All good. Commander should be a fun experience. As long everyone should be on the same page when you're playing it. And it's the same with 40k. It's the same with fantasy. There's nothing worse than you rock up with your, here's my janky blah 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 blah, and they're like, this is my ultra optimized copy and paste this from Reddit. It's got a 58% win rate, and it executes exactly this. And you're like, dude, I just want to play the game.
And if like God forbid you bring an army that has like a potential higher win rate than his, and it's like when he loses, like your army's just better than mine.
Yeah, it's like, dude, it should be a bit of fun.
Everything becomes stats.
Yeah, or like if you want to play that, play it, enjoy it, right? And some people really love that ultra competitive stuff, and that's great. But try not mix the two.
I think that's the bonus of like there being at the moment with so many clubs and so many events happening at any one time. The competitive guys really can stick to the competitive stuff, and the casual guys,
which is
stick
great,
to the casual stuff, and that's
great.
One of the benefits of like the popularity of these things becoming much more, and the availability of the events. I guess that does really provide the outlet for people to like push themselves into the block space that they need to be in.
And if you want to spend the time reviewing the meta each week and Meta Monday and checking those stats and blah, awesome, it's a hobby.
Yeah,
go enjoy it. It's fantastic. Really, like, go into it. But like, not everyone's like that.
Yeah,
not everyone's into it.
I've actually seen a couple games over the past week where some guys have come in thinking of, because they've played the person previously, maybe like a couple months ago in a league or whatever it is. They think they're coming to a casual game, so they build themselves a more casual list to play the guy, and then the guys maybe step the game up in the meantime.
Yeah.
And then they've come in with like hardcore meta, and like the game lasts like an hour.
It's like
just get railed.
Everyone likes winning.
Yeah,
everyone likes winning in games, but there's nothing worse than you rock up and you're like,
or the guy who thinks he's not competitive but like does everything that is competitive, and you're like,
it's okay, chief. Okay, chief. Yeah.
So yeah, enjoy your own hobby, guys.
I think so. Exactly. Yeah,
we've been at it for an hour 40-ish minutes now.
Oh, not bad.
So
look, let's go.
Shall we wrap it up?
I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
thank you very much for coming down tonight, John.
Anytime.
Thank
Anytime.
you. Always a pleasure having you as a guest as well.
No
The
worries.
conversations
Thanks
are a
for
lot of fun. So,
Kang will cut you a check.
I'm sure. How many shekels can?
and we're sponsored by.
Imperial Numismatics.
Correct pronunciation. There you go, William.
Thank you very much, everyone.
What we'll do is every time we'll get William to say it, we'll just cut Johnny's voice.
Imperial
straight over the top
Numismatics.
of it.
Yeah.
Well, you're going to pay extra for that. It's twice, mate.
Take care, lads. Enjoy the rest of your nights.
Have a
And you too as
fantastic
well,
night.
listeners.
Thank you.
Thank you very much for listening.
Kang's going to go
guys.
sort his foot out. I'm going to go yell at my computer a bit more.
I'm going to go to bed.
I'm going to try my best. Take care, everyone.